ready to bounce the ball.
Welcome to VFL Park for the match of the day between two of the clubs which have dominated the VFL competition in the last few years, Essendon and Hawthorn, who played 3 grand finals in a row until the Bombers missed out last year. Well, this time they're separated on the ladder. Hawthorn second, Essendon in 9th place. And the Hawks have a big wind in the first quarter in sunny conditions. The first kick of the game out of the centre by Hawker, not covering a lot of distance, and a defensive mark to Jenke. Off to Lester Smith, up towards centre wing, too high and long for Morris, and it goes past them. Chance here for Loveridge. The kick by him up towards half forward. Brereton one out with Hamilton. Hamilton, who's been one of the Bombers' stars in the last month, and he played it beautifully there. Got onto the wrong boot, no distance with that kick, and comes off to Kennedy. Hurried kick by him, but back onto the chest of Wallace, just wing.
Wallace played on and handballs to Hamilton. Trying very early over the top of Dipper's head. Salmon can't control it. Dipper does well. Gets it back, Greg Deere. Deere in the centre. Kicks towards centre half forward. And a great mark taken at half back by Simon Madden. He plays on. Handball to Hurd. Hurd in short. And Salmon takes the mark. Plays on quickly. The handball smothered. Hawker's there to recover. Back to Greg Deere. Greg Deere's high. Right foot kick towards centre forward. Burton and Hamilton. Recovers best. He's tackled by Madden. Buckenara. First kick early today. Defended well by Essendon. Up towards the centre of the gun. Salmon can't mark. Here comes Ayres. Ayres over the top finds Schwab. Schwab short kick. Wide. Outer wing. Tuck and Dipper Domenico can raffle it. Tuck's first. Left foot kick high. Buckenara's a chance. Dunstall at the rear. The ball goes over and it's a free kick to the Blues.
Very difficult conditions here today. There's a strong northerly wind blowing, and I don't think we'll see too much fancy football.
Yes, the breeze definitely helped that one out of bounds. Danaher's free kick. Over half back, comes to Platten. Lightning hand pass off. Kick up towards the forward line. Defensive mark to Danaher in the back pocket for the Bombers. And that came from Chris Mew, who found himself up on the forward line. Out wide to Wallace. From the 50-metre defensive line. Behind half back. Williams. Hamilton. And away go the Bombers. Considine to half forward. Gee, they're well up the ground. Nobody on the forward line for Essendon. Kicked away by Langford to Dipper Domenico. And Dipper's kick's not good. Straight to Considine.
Considine takes 3 or 4 paces. His kick's a poor one. Kennedy, a scrubber kick towards the wing position. Winton and Morris. Winton with strength. Bursts his way through the pack. He'll shoot for goal. No, he doesn't. He handballs. Spencer. Wide. Salmon. Kick smothered beautifully by Ayres. Morris there to back up. Morris's handball's wide. Langford's a chance. Good interception by Merritt. Oh, tackled unfairly by Ayres. Play on, says umpire Cameron. Schwab there. Platten now for Hawthorn. Gives it back to Tuck. Good smothering by the Bombers. Tuck's kick is wide, half forward. Over the top, Duckworth. Wallace there, the youngster. Contested by Curran. Curran back over the top. Chance for Duckworth. On the bottom of the pack. Has not got rid of the ball. And umpire Carey decides a free kick to go to the Hawks. 45 metres out on a difficult angle.
Very good decision that. Billy just laid on top of the ball. Although he is now complaining about it, I don't think he made a determined effort to get it away.
Difficult kick from that side of the ground. It's the defensive side today with this strong breeze. Just inside 50 for Gary Buckenara. Well, he got good distance, but he hooked it. And, in fact, right out of bounds, no score. So the breeze really got hold of that one. Well, at least it's better than last week. He didn't get a kick in the first half last week.
No, it was a shocker by Buckenara. Williams kicks the ball in for Essendon. Covers 55 metres out towards half-back. Schwab there for the Hawks. He can't break clear. Over the top of the shoulder by Simon Madden on Schwab. And Schwab will take the free kick for the Hawks. Well, ticking touch with 15 metres.
Yes, he's played it by the rule book there, that's for sure, but may have been a little bit hard.
Schwab with the football now. He's well within scoring distance, judging on Buckenara's kick for goal just a moment ago. Schwab comes in. It's not a bad-looking kick. It's a beauty by Schwab. Straight through. First goal of the match to Hawthorn. An excellent kick by Peter Schwab.
If you want another car, you can get it with a lifestyle loan from Territory Building Society, or need a holiday, maybe a swimming pool, air conditioning for the bedroom, perhaps a home computer. In fact, a loan for any reasonable purpose. Apply for a lifestyle loan at Territory Building Society now.
200th game. Out to Hawker. That was Watson's first touch. Hawker's kick a bit offline. Langford, beautiful. Spun out of one, ducked another one. Across to the attacking side. Morris leading up the ground, gets a cruel bounce. Goes to Thompson. Inside half forward for the Bombers. Williams threads out a good hand pass, but a bit too high to merit. He's got a chance. Great tackle by Mew. Play on, says the umpire. No free kick for that. Williams in there again. Comes to Salmon, who lays it like an egg. And now the umpire comes in and is going to ball it up in the forward pocket for the Bombers. On the bench for Essendon at the start of the game, Neil Cluck and Nick Walsh. And on the bench for Hawthorn, Paul Deere, who's Greg's younger brother, and Darren Pritchard.
Williams tackled by Tuck. Williams gets the handball away to Watson. Very close to the boundary line. It's a good kick to the front of the square. And equally as good a mark taken by Ayres. He plays on, handball over the top. Hands there in the back pocket. Russo, short kick to the wing. Morris over his head. Winton, feet goal. Thompson, Mark Thompson, long left foot kick to the front of the square. At the back, Williams runs into an open goal and kicks the Bombers' first goal. That scores a level after 7 minutes.
I'm here to demonstrate the many... We're here to demonstrate the many advantages of the Logan home. Off you go, little man. Logan homes arrive complete, on site, with all doors and windows pre-hung, all panels cut to size.
Kit comes complete with all instructions.
We can even arrange to erect it, or help you take it to any stage.
Pretty quick, eh?
And it goes up in no time at all.
It'll be even faster with 2 spanners. Your man with a spanner is right here.
He read it well. Scores level at the 7-minute mark. Madden wins to Hawker. He gets bowled pretty quickly by Curran. Back to Mew with the hand pass. Inside half forward. Buckenara props. Ball doesn't reach him though. And it's whipped out of defence by Billy Duckworth. 2 West Australians playing on each other. And the mark to Madden, All-Australian #1 ruckman, whose career looked finished earlier in the year with a serious back injury. Off to Hawker. I reckon Essendon would be keen for Timmy Watson today, who's playing his 200th game at the age of 26. Off the ground by Deere. Back to Hawker, who came from a similar area to Tim Watson. And the Wimmera gets the kick away. Up short of the goal square. Chance. Ooh, crunch. Down goes Nick Walsh, picked up by Williams. Holding the ball. That was Sullivan, number 19, who dropped that one. He had a bit of a chance. And Williams penalised for trying to go through the pack. Caught holding it.
Free kick will go back to Kennedy by the look of it.
As Williams is swamped by 3 Hawthorn players.
Hawthorn now get the ball clear through Ayres. Play on the outer wing. It's a good long kick. Wallace has a chance. Closely followed there as the ball went over the boundary line by Curran. And we'll have a throw in on centre wing out of side. The scores are level, 1 goal apiece. Extremely difficult conditions with the wind blowing straight across the ground at VFL Park.
Madden in front. Down goes Baker, playing just his 10th game for the year. Hurriedly out of there by Loveridge. No man's land. Duckworth's done well on Buckenara so far. Now it's Hurd. Back to Duckworth, but he can't stretch for it. And the hand pass goes out of play.
Well, that flag's not indicating the true state of the game, because the other flags are really blowing at full force over there in the outer.
Tremendous tap out by Madden. Watson at the back. Can't quite control it. Tuck there. Leg as he was about to... Well, he couldn't have broken clear, but he was about to get the hand pass away. Tuck's third kick inside 50 metres. Good distance. Right against the line. Chance for Hawthorn. They can't get the ball clear. A crush of players. And umpire Carey will bounce. Only a matter of 3 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. 1 goal apiece, 9.5 minutes gone first quarter.
Chance here for the Hawks. The breeze is mostly across. but does slightly favour Hawthorn, I reckon. Thrust through here for it behind, which breaks the deadlock. It's only the third score for the game. 1-1 Hawthorn, 1 goal Essendon.
Terry Danaher to do the kicking in for Essendon. Comes to the members' side. Could be a bit risky. Oh, free kick against Morris. Ran straight at Hawker. And Hawker to take the ball. Morris penalised 15 metres for not giving it up a little sooner than he should have. Hawker's fifth kick goes to Folds. Folds back to Hawker. Hawker runs through centre-half back and kicks long. It could go to the back of the pack, and nearly at centre-half forward the ball will land. Di Domenico flips it back to Ayres. Ayres has got Langford in support at half-back, who's run a long way up from full-back. Langford comes through the wing and kicks towards half-forward. It goes over the top of Buckenara and Winton. Hamilton has read the play well, goes out close to the boundary line, tackled by Brereton. He shrugs the tackle, ball comes free. Russo, good support by Winton again, doing well. Wallace for Essendon, gets around Curran, a kick along the ground. Russo, in comes Platten. Platten forced to kick quickly, goes to the front of the square. Dunstall, a flip on. Terry Danaher, under lots of pressure, but he gets clear with spectacular play. Duckworth, left foot kick wide. Chance now for Watson. That's a little tentative, but there goes Timmy now to tidy up. He's well tackled by Schwab, under lots of pressure against the boundary line. Centre wing, member side, over what goes, and we'll have a throw in that position after 11 minutes. Hawthorn lead by a point.
He probably should have marked that one, Tim Watson. He was under no pressure, and would have given Essendon a good chance if he had been able to take that one.
Clears both ruckman. Thompson at ground level, right on the logo. The umpire says, you're holding the ball, son. You're not doing much to get it out. And it's a Hawthorn free kick to Deer. Quickly taken up towards half forward. Curran at the back can't mark. Paddles out well for Di Domenico. Up the ground, Morris, who now has Duckworth. Back into Platten. Platten hooks it across in face of goal. And it bounces past Jason Dunstall and goes out of bounds in the forward pocket. Johnny Platten was tagged out of it last week by David Bolton. See how the Brownlow favourite goes today. And he's got Hurd today. Another good tagger.
Neither ruckman had much influence on that. Folds there for Essendon. Kick around the corner to half-back. Dipper's on his own. Well, he was for a second. Baker did the tackling. Wallace, 2 against 1. Deer and Curran. Deer does well. That's big Greg Deer. Tackled from behind by Merritt. Umpire Carey sees no infringement. Throw it in, boundary umpire Norman. And just outside 50 metres, it's 60 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. The ruckman will contest Madden and Curran. At the back, Loveridge. Over the top, Platten. In the pocket. Over on the full. Free kick to the Bombers. And it'll be taken by Winton.
I think there's been a change there with Winton now on Buckenara and Duckworth across on Morris. Danaher at full back on Dunstall. Winton's kick over half back. Beautiful roving by Watson up to Baker, on to Folds. Folds over the centre of the ground. Bouncing in no man's land. Chance here for Sullivan. Hooks round the corner. Now that was Nick Walsh. Bounces through to Spencer. Down he goes. Play on, says the umpire. Flick to the back by Hawthorn. Crunch, in goes Langford. No whistle yet. Nick Walsh's hand pass to Hawker. He's played a great first term and will cap it off with a goal.
There was some good play behind the scenes by Walsh and Sullivan for starters to get in there and put his body in.
Tremendous play, because they're under extreme pressure from, well, Chris Langford. He's not a small boy by any means. When you've got someone bearing down upon you the size of Chris Langford, it's not a pleasant sight. But they did very well this time to get that one out, and in the end it was out to Hawker. And no mistaking that one. Essendon's third goal, and they're doing very well at the moment.
Spencer was another player that was in that...
I'm sorry, it's Essendon's second goal.
Bounce in the centre, Madden can't get the tap out. Schwab's handball. Curran under lots of pressure. The Bombers aren't doing too bad early. Loveridge, look at that fierceness of Essendon. A little too enthusiastic, and they've given the free kick away, but they've let Hawthorn know that there's a game of footy going on here, and it won't be easy for the Hawks. Loveridge, fourth kick to centre half forward. Good mark taken by the big Bomber ruckman. Madden gets the handball away. You're a little too slow, Considine. But the tackle was poor. Here's a chance for Mark Thompson. Uncustomary roll up on the forward line. Kicks towards the forward pocket area. Chance there for, is it Winton? tackled when he didn't, no, it was Sullivan on the bottom of it. He did not make any attempt to get rid of it. And the free kick will go to Hawthorn in the back pocket, and it's taken by Kennedy. He gets it across to Ayres. Ayres to centre-half back.
Dippy Domenico playing on Folds. Comes to the back. Chance for Wallace. Dipper getting back there to put on the pressure. He's outnumbered 2-1, Dippy Domenico. Loses it to his opponent, Folds. Beautiful pass. Hawker nearly 10 possessions. Burney up towards half-forward. Bit of jumper tugging going on. And no mark paid there to Lester Smith. Timmy Watson's in there. Legged and will take the free kick. Plays on quickly. Unmarked Thompson, who marks inside centre-half forward, right in front and about 35 metres from goal. Fourth kick coming up for Mark Thompson, and Timmy Watson, well, who made his league debut at the age of 15 years and 10 months. And if he'd played more than just 11 games in the last 2 seasons, he'd have been right on target to break Kevin Bartlett's all-time record. Hope he has a great one today for his 200. He set up this goal for Thompson, and the Bombers lead 3 goals to 1 goal 1, and the Hawks are getting a bit of a shock here.
Yes, they certainly are. They're certainly out to make a game of this, Essendon. And there were plenty of fierce tackling here in this first quarter. They put plenty of pressure on Essendon. Essendon put plenty of pressure on Hawthorn. And good play by Timmy Watson to get that over quickly to Thompson, who kicked an excellent goal from about 40 metres out.
Well, he certainly is an opportunist, Tim Watson, if not just for himself, also for other players down the field. Loveridge, kick it high, Brereton at the back. He'll have a tough tussle with Hamilton. He's a goer, Hamilton. Been awarded a free kick against Brereton. And we could even see the signs of frustration appearing already this early in the game.
A little bit ticky-touch with that one, but maybe a little high.
Hamilton's kick into the centre. Oh, good attempt to mark, and it's been paid to Tuck. The Hawthorn captain in the centre of the VFL Park. Fourth kick coming up for Michael Tuck. He kicks towards centre-half forward to the advantage of Essendon. Winton, a little too tall for Platten. Considine on the end of the hand pass, up towards half-forward. The bounces are a little bit fickle. Lester Smith at the back. Ayres wasn't waiting for it. The hand pass a little too slick. Considine now over the top. Baker's under pressure, but they've got the numbers where the ball hits the ground, the Bombers. It's Hurd, away to Folds. Folds, a beautiful kick of the football. Long to full forward, and there's a mark for the Bombers. A great mark to Spencer, inside 50 metres. And a tremendous chance to kick a goal. He goes for the pass. It's out into the forward pocket. And who is it? None other but Glenn Hawker.
I don't think he's made it much easier for Hawker out there. Hawker will be kicking from about 40 metres. And the wind's coming from across the other side of the ground, across the face of goals. So Hawker will be kicking slightly into the wind.
Ninth kick for Hawker. He runs very close to the man on the mark. It holds up in the breeze, punched away by Deere over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in 3, 4, 5 metres around from the Essendon goal. The Bombers 3 goals straight, 18, are leading Hawthorn 1-1-7, and we're 18 and a half minutes into the first quarter.
Ruck contest. Hawthorn free kick going to Michael Tuck, the Hawk skipper. It's pretty hard to get it out of there. The Bombers really putting on pressure. Nice, good play. Considine marks in between the wing and half forward. Breeze left to right and behind from there. And a good pass to Thompson. And Bomber Thompson, chance to kick his second goal. And Breeze will help him from there. Go for goal, son.
Yes, that's right. This is definitely the side to kick goals from.
And the Breeze takes it right away, and he just brings up a score. Barely. Mightn't have had enough experience at kicking for goals. Spent most of his career in defence, back pocket mainly.
I bet you our fellow commentator had gone back and had a shot for goal.
No doubt about it,
That's definitely not Drew Morford. Kick in by Langford. Covers 70 metres. Beautiful kick. It'll go back the other way, though. Folds, left foot kick to centre-half forward. Punched away from Merritt. Platten doing the roving well for Hawthorn. Kicks it into the centre. It's over the top of the players' heads. The ball runs free. Half-forward flank member side. Hurd goes back to do the shepherding. Good tiding there by the Bomber defence. Out wide, Baker and Tackled by Platten. Loveridge dropping the ball, says the umpire. And the free kick will go back to the Hawthorn rover in Loveridge. Between wing and half forward. Sixth kick for Loveridge to centre half forward. Good punch away by Hamilton. Brereton fights on well though and gets his first kick for the match. 20 minutes in, out wide, Buckenara. Chance for Buckenara now to pass to Dunstall, who's led well, and great mark. Strong mark by Dunstall, out in front. First one for the match, but it certainly was a beauty. And he'll shoot for goal from 30 metres out. Very, very difficult angle.
Yes, and a great mark to Dunstall, that.
Right across the face. Brereton should have marked that. Curran over his shoulder. Well, went over the wrong shoulder, out of bounds.
I think Dermott got a surprise. It was so easy in the end. I think he was expecting a little bit more opposition from Essendon than he got, because no Essendon backman went for the ball in the end.
Well, Brereton last week, 14 marks and 22 kicks. Easily best on ground. If he keeps up this rate, he'll get about 5 kicks today. Folds. Beautiful pass to Considine. Sorry, it's not Considine, it's Nick Walsh, who takes a high one. Off to Hawker, who is starring. Haven't seen Merritt in the play too much so far. It goes past him at centre half forward. Deer's hand pass to Jenke. Out to Dipia Domenico. The Hawks just not looking red hot. Bit lucky there, back to Jenke. Great distance with that kick. Brereton nudges out Hamilton. Look at the pace of Hurd though. Hand passing to himself or the boundary line. The line will do. Out of play.
They didn't have too many options, Hurd, and it was good play in the finish to at least keep it away from the Hawthorn forwards. And on the 50-metre line, we'll have a boundary throw in. Essendon leading by 12 points. Wallace just punches it straight back over the boundary line. And one wonders whether the Bombers are doing quite as well. I suppose the Hawks, looking at the way the distance the kicks are gaining, they're certainly kicking with the aid of the breeze. Madden's tap out. Platten on the bottom of the pack. Umpire Carey will bounce.
.22-minute mark in the first term. Essendon 3-1, Hawthorn 1-1. Big pack around this ball up. Curran wins for Hawthorn, knocks defensively. Dipia Domenico caught by Baker. Out of the air by Brereton. Lucky. Loveridge. Winton in front of Morris, but he left it behind. Morris paddling for Platten. Goal coming up, 20 metres out. Very high. The breeze gets it, but it's still through for the Hawks' second.
Good snap there by Johnny Platten. And good fighting there by Russell Morris on the forward line to keep it there. There's a left foot snap around. It could have been a free kick just about to Winton. Looked like a bit of interference, and there Morris also dropped the ball. But he manages to tap it on to Platten, and a very good snap in the windy conditions.
Six points the Bombers lead. Approaching time on in the first quarter. Deer, great punch towards centre half forward. Platten, a flip on. Brereton's a big chance. Half forward flank members side. Just outside 50 metres. Disciplined play. It's a good kick. Oh, Dunstall pushing the back. Right in front of umpire Cameron, and Terry Danaher will take the free kick for the Bombers when things look just a little dangerous for them.
It's a little bit obvious, that nudge.
Oh, Madden, what a mark at half-back. Norm Smith medalist in the 85 grand final. He led a record grand final winning margin. He was sensational that day. Beautiful punch down. Comes to Russo. His kick back to half forward. Nobody there for Hawthorn. And on his own is Hamilton, with Brereton 25 metres away. Hamilton off to Hurd. Well, I don't know whether he's playing a tagging role, but he's going out getting his own kicks on Platten. Platten shepherded off about 15 metres behind. And a beautiful pass by Hurd finds Watson.
Gee, that was a bit risky by Terry Danaher on Platten, but umpire Cameron saw nothing in it, and the ball's on centre wing outer side. Too tall, Jenke, but didn't mark. Plays on well, gets it across to his fellow defender in Langford. Langford's kick towards half forward. Oh, easy mark, dropped by Buckenara. Duckworth there for the Bombers at half-back. The ball, no one can break clear with it. And Paul Deer on the ground there for Hawthorn. Didn't quite notice who went off.
Russell Morris is the player that's been taken off.
And Greg Deer's younger brother Paul, who's got a tremendous spring, thrown straight into the ruck, but Madden gets the tap out. Platten dispossessed by Hurd, but he, for persistence, gets a tap out to Loveridge. Loveridge kick to the front of the goal square. Here's Dunstall. The bounce is a little awkward for him, but he fights on after it, taps it around, very close to the boundary line. Palais style kicks it to Platten. Platten back to Lester Smith. Lester Smith's shot for goal's perfect. Third goal to Hawthorn. And where did Lester Smith come from?
Well, they do it a lot, the Hawthorn backmen. They follow the play down the ground. We see it a lot with Langford. He runs right down to the wing and gives the forwards plenty of opportunities, but the play there was brilliant by Dunstall. He kicked the ball off the ground when it looked as if it was going out of bounds. Found Johnny Platten in the middle, and there's a handball over to Lester Smith, who split the goals.
Hawthorn became famous for that sort of kick in the Hudson days. They'd kick backwards from the pocket into space. That's what Dunstall did then. Probably never even heard of Peter Hudson. Jason Dunstall, the Queenslander. They might have by now. Baker can't get boot to ball. Russo, the hand pass to Kennedy. Lester Smith, who kicked the last goal. That's great play. Scores level to full forward. Dunstall, what a mark. And this is going to be one of the highlights of the day. Dunstall and Terry Danaher. Front position all the way. Actually, TD nearly pushed him into that mark.
Yes, he positioned his body perfectly there, Jason Dunstall. And although he's not a really tall full forward, he does move exceptionally well.
Dunstall kicks truly, and the Hawks hit the front by that goal after a pretty shaky start. And a minute and a half into time on, they lead 25-19.
And the last two goals to Hawthorn have come through that man, Dunstall. First, that centering kick. Here it is out to Lester Smith. A long kick down in the forward line. And Dunstall managed to keep Danaher away from the ball to take a very strong chest mark.
Big bonus to have strong forwards like Brereton and Dunstall. The bounce favours Deer. Schwab gets the ball out for the Hawks, a high one. Players struggling to gather the football in these blustery conditions. That's centre half forward. Hurd back to Winton. Winton's kick well smothered. Brereton tackled by Duckworth. Dropping the ball. Umpire Cameron very much on the spot. And Brereton penalised at centre half back for the Bombers.
Just held on to that one a little bit too long, Dermot Brereton. He should have taken the first option.
Fourth kick to Duckworth over the wing. Comes to the back. Watson's lightning hand pass. He was bowled over. And now umpire Carey comes in and is going to ball it up. Approaching the 28-minute mark in the first quarter. 7 goals kicked between them. Lead has changed 4 times already and has been level twice. The scores. Comes to Foles. High kick, short of half forward. Punched out by Brereton, who drifted back into defence. Hawker, what a quarter he's played. Tuck with him. Hawker still going. But Tuck gets support from Langford. And Langford sees it out about 75, 80 metres from goal. Well played, the fullback.
He's done exceptionally well, Langford. Salmon, I don't think, has had a kick at this stage.
28 minutes gone in the first quarter. The Hawks lead by a point. It's a good tap out by Madden. Hawker picks it up. Chance for Spencer. Now Walsh. Caught with the ball, Spencer. And he'll be free kicked. And it'll go to Ayres, who perhaps sweated on the Essendon player. And one wonders whether this rule is really going to be productive. There's the siren to end the first quarter at Waverley, where Hawthorn, who trailed Essendon by 2 goals about 10 minutes before quarter time, now lead by 6 points. The Hawks 4-1-25, Essendon 3-1-19. The goal kickers are all singles. For Hawthorn, Lester Smith, Dunstall, Schwab and Platten. And for Essendon, Williams, Thompson, that's Mark Thompson, and Hawker.
If you want another car, you can get it with a lifestyle loan from Territory Building Society, or need a holiday, maybe a swimming pool, air conditioning for the bedroom, perhaps a home computer. In fact, a loan for any reasonable purpose. Apply for a lifestyle loan at Territory Building Society now.
When the explorers first experienced the conditions of the Australian outback, they didn't have the advantages that the explorer of today has. The modern traveller can visit the same places, but with protection against the elements provided by Fabric products. An extension provided with the Wilpena tent creates a private sleeping area and includes a large window. The all-weather Cleveland tent is made from 100% waterproof canvas, and the Ormiston is both rugged and roomy. There's no need to rough it like the explorers. Do your exploring with Fabric products, a division of Dabsco.
Think about it. When it comes to regular scheduled flights, charter flights and fast freight service, we're Australia's top airline. Air North, Australia's top airline. Think about it.
To be a decathlon champion, you need to be versatile and very good. Similarly, the NEC Hi-Fi Stereo VCR offers all the top performance features, such as full function remote control, clear picture freeze frame, superb hi-fi stereo, and on-screen displays. The NEC Hi-Fi Stereo VCR, above the rest by a long, long way. It's another top performer from NEC.
How can I write dialogue if nobody's going to talk?
6 p.m. tonight, Alf dabbles in show business.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Only there's no one else in the room with her. I've got the woman talking to chairs. No. First you open the champagne, then you hug. Oh, nobody reads stage directions. How do you feel about having a cat on the show?
Hilarious comedy in Alf, 6 p.m. tonight, here on 8.
Welcome back, and at half-time today, we'll check on the main stories of the week and we'll take a look at the VFL's overseas push. 6 points the margin between the two sides at quarter time. Hawthorn leading 4-1-25 to 3-1-19. All individual goal kickers: Peter Swab, John Platten, Lester Smith and Dunstall for Hawthorn, and Williams, Hawker and Thompson for Essendon. And what was a fairly good quarter. Barry Breen's joined us in the studio. Barry?
Good afternoon, Ken.
Pretty good start by the Bombers, really. Put a bit of pressure on.
Quite impressed early. It was a game of, first quarter was a game of halves there. Essendon started off very well through the pressure that they applied to Hawthorn around the centre of the ground, and also to their forward line. They chopped Brereton out pretty well. Morris was taken off the ground, so they did a pretty good job.
Some of the young Bombers doing particularly well.
Yeah, Considine, very good. Quite impressed, and I think the commentators should start to give some of these boys a little bit of recognition instead of saying, where are the star players?
OK, let's take a look at the stats, Barry.
I don't think you see much in there. Mark's Essendon running away in that department at the moment, controlling the air. The rest of it, much the same. Handballs 28-21. So the Bombers have started off pretty well, and if they can maintain that, we'll have a good game.
OK, let's take a look at the scores around the ground. Fitzroy and Carlton. Fitzroy 3-4-22. Carlton 3-7-25. North Melbourne 3-6-24 to Richmond, just 5 behind. St Kilda 4 behinds, and away they go. Just about ready to bounce the ball, so we've missed out on them.
After an entertaining first quarter, the Hawks lead at the start of the second quarter by 6 points. The ball half-forward flank for Essendon, Sullivan and Kennedy. Sullivan, ex-Hawthorn player. Flipped back by Walsh. Chance now for Clark on the ground for the Bombers, who started on the interchange bench. Tuck's hand pass, hit Platten in the face. Clark for Essendon. His kick is marked by Kennedy at centre-half back for the Hawks.
John Kennedy going for a bounce, over half-back. His kick over the wing for Curran. Wallace went to spoil, nearly took the mark. And down the boundary line by Schwab. Duckworth leading Buckenara, but it went straight through him. Clean bowled middle stump. Off the ground, Buckenara. Up towards full forward and Dunstall. Danaher, he's done some classy things. Beautiful play, Terry Danaher. And a great pass up the ground to Folds. Comes off to Clark, who's made amends for sitting on the bench. He's come out red hot, about 3 possessions already. Off to Wallace. A terrible kick. That wasn't within 50 metres of an Essendon player. It's gone out of play.
Well, if you have a quick look, Drew, there was no one for him to kick it to. And on the left foot, he would have had to cover 65 metres to give Essendon some advantage. And that young fellow looks rather promising.
We've got some good young players coming through Essendon.
Merritt doing the ruck work, but it's Deere over the top. Platten's flip on, looking for Russo. Baker there. He can't gain possession. The ball runs free. Platten's quick kick, intercepted by Watson. Brilliant, classy football by Timmy Watson. Left foot kick, Mark Thompson on the end of it. Right foot kick high to half forward. In front, Salmon interfered with by Langford. Play on, says the umpire. Tuck there. Now Hawker. He can't get the ball out. Yes, he does. Sullivan tackled by Kennedy. A little bit of inexperience. You've got to get your foot to the ball quickly. Platten does the roving well. Wide to Dipper. Half-back flank member side. Bounces once. Forced to kick with the left foot. Not a bad-looking kick either. Gives Buckenara a chance. It bounces nicely for Bucky. Round onto the right foot. Kicks it into the forward pocket. Brereton. One-handed mark. If you don't mind, his quick kick towards centre-half forward. Not to Hawthorn's advantage. Young Wallace doing well at half-back. Gets the handball away to Baker. Baker in the centre. Sloppy left foot kick intercepted by Deere. Now's a chance for Russo. A strong tackle by Merritt. The ball in the centre. Russo still down behind play. The ball goes up to half-forward, and now Hawthorn might get a free kick, and it just could have been the square off, but just a little earlier.
And not before time, because Russo really copped a high one.
And here's Paul Deere. The breeze won't bring that back, and it goes through for a behind. The youngster, 20 years of age, looks a great prospect. Peter Russo still spitting out the dirt from the centre circle. Kick in by Danaher. Wide lead by Folds. These two have been around since Adam was a boy. Over the top. Kick towards centre wing. Hawker had 11 kicks first quarter. He's not going to get his 12th. Tuck. Greg Deere over the top. Loveridge. He's got plenty of players in support. Tripped up. Free kick paid. Advantage. Buckenara up the ground. Jenke. Russo. Great chain by Hawthorn. Platten. But he missed it.
No talking.
Well, you expect a little bit better there from a senior player, even though it was on his left foot. He was only, I suppose, 20 metres out when he had that shot for goal, straight in front. And from a classy player like Johnny Platten, you expect a little bit better.
Terry Danaher kicks the ball into half-back, outer side. Greg Deere. Tap on by Wallace for the Bombers. Tap on by Lester Smith for Hawthorn. Here's a chance for Folds. Steadies. Kicks it in towards centre-half back where Clark's made good position. Hand pass to Williams. Over the top. A little too far. Dipper shrugs off the Watson tackle. Watson with persistence. Couldn't stop Dipper. On to Jenke. On to Loveridge. At centre-half forward. Good gather by Paul Deere. He's caught. Gets the hand pass away. Holding the ball against Paul Deere. And the free kick will go to the Bombers in the form of young Hamilton, another excellent young player for Essendon.
8 points, the Hawks lead. Hamilton's kick to the wing. Lester Smith with the height, but only taps down in the path of Baker. Great pass for Salmon. Well, he's at full forward, and he looks $1 million. He's too far out to score. About 70 metres out. Hawker giving him something near the goal square. Salmon goes long and high. Well, if he's short, it's only by 5 metres. And off the hands and through it goes for a point. But with the lead like that and the height, he looks the world's best full forward and middle-of-the-road ruckman.
Yes, I suppose when Simon Madden's out of this team, though, they are very short on for ruckman. And it is necessary to play him there at times.
Mew kicks long, 60 metres plus. Half-back for the Hawks. A flip-on. Lester Smith. Good pressure by Clark. Tries to flip it back, but only to Lester Smith's advantage. Lester Smith, an excellent touch handball to Curran. Into the centre. Platten plays on. Duckworth in his road. Just may get his kick now. It's a high one. Not very good for Dunstall. Terry Danaher in front. Wallace. Handball a little sloppy. The Hawks with persistence. Platten to Buckenara. Buckenara shoots for goal from inside 50 metres. And it's not bad. Not bad by Buckenara. It's a goal. A freakish goal by Gary Buckenara. And the Hawks now lead by 13 points. 6 minutes into the second quarter.
Here it is again. The Buckenara goal on a very difficult angle into the breeze. And it's a very strong breeze at that. And a top goal, that one, a very handy one.
Hawks now leading by 13 points as Greg Deere wins the first tap and the second. Whipped away by Williams. Good running by Foulds. He's got time to pick up. Here comes Dipper. Foulds kick to Salmon. Here comes Langford. Hawker again. Intercepted by Tuck, who's fouled it hard on Hawker. And the kick by Tuck out of bounds on the full.
Baker with the football for Essendon. Kicks it towards centre half forward, looking for the high flyer. Punched away by Ayres. Williams doing the roving. Falling over was Spencer for Essendon at a crucial stage, because if he's just had been able to keep his footing, he may have been able to gather that football and put the Bombers right into attack. We've got a bounce between the centre and half-forward flank positions. Good tap out there by Madden. Sullivan falls over. John Kennedy keeps his feet. Well pressured there by Mark Thompson. The Bombers 3-1, and Kennedy does it well for the Hawks. Umpire Cameron decides on a bounce. Very experienced umpire, Peter Cameron, and completely composed as he bounces the ball at half-forward for the Bombers.
Spencer wins the tap. Williams is there, nearly bowled over by his own teammate. Watson fumbles and then gets Deputy Domenico high, and the free kick goes to Bertie. The Brownlow medalist back after a week out with suspension. So he can't win the Brownlow for 2 years in a row. Lester Smith from centre half back pops up one short, and it's marked by Schwab. Out to the wing, Loveridge. Oh, crunched over against Nick Walsh. It was a bad one. The free kick to Richard Loveridge. Spencer, was it? Yeah, Trevor Spencer. And a beautiful pass by Loveridge finds Curran.
Curran, handball onto Jenke. Jenke's a good kick of the football, direct towards full forward. Oh, great mark taken by Terry Danaher. He plays on quickly. He's got Whitten in support in the back pocket. A little chip pass finds Baker. Baker with a bit of space at half-back. Kicks it wide. Looking out there for Merritt. Hasn't done much so far. Lester Smith a little bit too agile for Merritt. A flip-on goes close to the boundary line. And just before Mew can get there, it goes over, and we'll have a throw-in some 65 metres around from the Essendon goal. The scoreboard shows the Hawks leading by 13 points, 33-20.
That's right, Essendon were winning premierships when Merritt was clearing a path through packs and getting possession. Now they had a sight today.
Yes, he's trying hard, Roger, but he just cannot get into the play. And hasn't got the touch that he had of a couple of seasons ago when he was really dominating.
Ball up in between the wing and half forward for the Bombers. Defensive side of the ground, though. Merritt taps this one out. Kennedy taken by Williams. Oh, great play, Daisy Williams. Salmon. He's still got a chance, but just can't keep it in. Couldn't believe a ball could bounce back, turn on its tail like that, but the breeze helped it.
Nearly 10 minutes gone in the second quarter. You can see the wind blowing even the players' jumpers quite strongly. Good punch away by Ayres. Chance for Mark Thompson. He's already kicked one goal, and there's his second. A perfect shot by Mark Thompson from what I would have thought to be the difficult flank at VFL Park this afternoon. And the Hawthorn side lead by 7 points. 10 minutes into the second quarter, 4-2-26 Essendon, 5-3-33 the Hawks.
Big knock away there by Ayres. But well done by Thompson. That's an excellent goal from that angle, especially with the breeze as it is today. There's Sullivan off the ground, being replaced by Nick Walsh.
He'd be getting giddy, Nick Walsh.
Kicked 7 or 8 goals in a night game at VFL Park here earlier in the season. Look, an absolute star of the future. Here's Winton under pressure. Foulds under pressure. Great tackle, Greg Deere. Off to Watson it goes. Nobody there for Essendon. Easy mark to Kennedy. His kick up over the wing. Loveridge out in front of Hurd. Tries to duck the tackle. Hurd grabbed him when he didn't have it, ruled the umpire. And the free kick to Loveridge, who doesn't look too well to take it.
On a hamstring?
Oh, he twisted his knee badly, I reckon, when he went down under that tackle.
Yes, that could be the end of him for the day, I'm afraid.
Oh, and that looks bad for Hawthorn with the finals coming up. Richard Loveridge played in a couple of premiership teams, and they don't need a bad knee injury. He's part of their great roving duo, Platten and Loveridge.
Oh, Duckworth gave Dipper a little bit of a tickle up just after he got the kick away. The ball went to half forward over the boundary line, and we see Richard Loveridge being helped off the ground. A sad blow for the Hawks, because the Platten-Loveridge roving combination certainly was a damaging couple. Curran's kick up towards full forward. Danaher bounces a little awkward. Clark, good tackle by Russo. Walsh back to Clark. Clark forced to kick quickly by Brereton. Close to the boundary line. Buckenara, a big chance, gets the handball back. Russo's there, fumbles just at the crucial stage. Bombers under pressure. Hawker there to tidy up. Kennedy doing the chasing for Hawthorn. Hurd, good tackle by Buckenara. The ball to centre half back, and it lucks a fortune because Whitten was there to take the mark for Essendon.
Well, I don't know what Dipper's doing.
Well, how many metres is that worth? The umpire said about halfway between 15 and 30. Kick up towards half forward. Salmon almost. Williams, great roving. Watson. Grab. Play on. It spills to Pritchard, who's just come on to replace Loveridge. Off to Tuck. There's a trip behind play. It's going to be a Hawthorn free. And the crowd yelling for a Watson free before that. But it's to be Michael Tuck.
Billy Duckworth gave a little bit of attention to Pritchard after he got rid of the ball also.
I think that was what the free kick was for, wasn't it? Tuck kicks towards the wing. Oh, you're tackled well, Hawker. Didn't attempt to get rid of the ball. Little fortunate, and we'll have a boundary throw in. No, there is a free kick being given as we see the Hawthorn runner on the bench. The ball goes to the wing. Marked there by Paul Deere, but it's not paid. Curran gets the handball out. Merritt nearly had his first touch. He had a touch, but he couldn't do anything with it. Up towards half forward. Nick Walsh penalised by the free kick by Buckenara, and Walsh will take the free kick for Essendon at half back.
Good distance with the breeze. And a mark.
Yes, Gary is playing a great game down there in the back line.
Yeah, judged it beautifully. Off to John Kennedy. He's kicked wide for Dermot Brereton. Comes to the front of the pack. Schwab twists through the pack. Hand pass astray. Hamilton. Caught by Platten. Tuck. Going Hawthorn's way, though. Lester Smith to Di Domenico. That's a mouthful. Platt dropped it red hot. Hurd gets him. No whistle. Curran too fast for Lester Smith. Dipper again on the 50. Wide for Deere, and Paul Deere's got it about 43 metres from goal. Breeze right at his back. Centering kick, all Hawthorn. There were three of them unmarked. Curran, easy goal, but he missed it.
Oh. It's one of those occasions where you take it a little bit too easily. And Curran just laid back on that one instead of kicking through, and there was a result.
Loveridge being patched up on the boundary line as the ball finds Folds. His handball's wide. Put Terry Danaher under pressure. Russo there, supported by Dunstall. Folds there for Essendon. Dunstall fights on. Can't break clear, and umpire Cameron will bounce as Terry Danaher gives his teammate Gary Folds a friendly pat on the head. Well battled. Boundary ball up. Big tap out from there goes over, and now we'll have a boundary throw in. It's about 55, 60 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. The Hawks lead by 8 points, and we're nearly 16 minutes into the second quarter.
Hawthorn 1-3 to 1-1 in this quarter, so it really hasn't gone anywhere in almost 16 minutes. Thompson, the hand pass, out of bounds. Brereton, through he went, and down goes Hamilton. Free kick to Hamilton. Is there a book on that one? No.
Well, he didn't raise the elbow, Dermot. It was a very solid bump and maybe a little bit late and unnecessary, but he did not raise the elbow.
Clark, handball wide. Winton with a bit of pace. breaks away from Mew. Mew chases well. Winton's got Watson in support, and with pure style, Watson gets away, kicks the half forward, and Duckworth takes the mark. And vintage Timmy Watson.
There's no better player in the league. Shows enormous skills, Timmy Watson, and it's great to see that he's got over that knee injury.
Duckworth, who kicked quite a few goals in grand finals, shoots from centre half forward. The wind brings it back straight through the centre. And a good goal there by Duckworth, set up by Watson, and the difference is 2 points.
Timmy Watson would have to be the most exciting player to watch in the league when he's really at his top. Look at that turn there from him. Magnificent. And he delivers the ball so well into the floor by great pass to Billy Duckworth. And Billy's a pretty good shot at goal also. He doesn't miss many.
It was a beautiful kick. You would have been proud of that, Bernie Quinlan?
I would have been very happy with that one.
2 points the difference. Tapped out by Greg Deere to Dipper. Caught by Baker, but got the kick away. Paul Deere after it with Winton. Looks a classy unit. A bit wide here for Dunstall. And the ball out of play. 34 plays 32, and I don't think we'll see Richard Loveridge back. And I think that the end of 1987 might be going through his mind right now.
Yeah, disappointing way to finish the game, but it may not be all that serious. I think they would have him in the rooms if it was a terribly bad knee injury.
There's certainly a worried look on his face. Free kick against Mark Thompson. Gee, the umpires are tough in these situations.
It's red hot because he had no chance of getting rid of that. It was a perfect tackle. But the ball was definitely held to him.
The kick went into the forward pocket. The Bombers came clear. Wallace, you're under a little bit of pressure. Dispossessed by Kennedy, backed up by Mew, up towards half forward. Oh, strong play, Williams. He backed himself, took the ball as it bounced, got it away to Foulds. Foulds up towards half forward. It bounces nicely for Hawker with class. He's nearly as classy as Watson. Watson backs him up, tries to get around onto the right foot. Now he does, but he can't hook it around enough, and it goes over on the full, and a free kick to Hawthorn as Timmy Watson shows his disgust a little bit further back for a poor kick.
Great pressure by Gary Ayres, though. He didn't allow Tim Watson to get around and have a clear kick.
Langford takes the free kick. It holds up in the breeze. Salmon in front, can't mark. Here's Tim Watson. A paddle, but straight to the opposition. Schwab to Platten. Beautiful pass. And behind play, Dippia Domenico has put down Hurd. An illegal shepherd, and the free kick goes to the Essendon man, just as Hawthorn were about to scoot up to the forward line.
Yeah, that's a terrible waste. That undisciplined by Dipper because Hawthorn were on a roll, had the ball going down to their forward line.
Mew is kicked out of that marking contest. Is wide, and it goes over the boundary line as Greg Deere comes off. Russell Morris on at the 19.5-minute mark. We've got a boundary throw in at half forward, member side. On the bottom of the pack there for Hawthorn looks like Schwab. Can't break clear, and the umpire will take control. It's umpire Cameron, and we'll have a bounce as he has a bit of a chat to young Paul Deere and Roger Merritt. Go for this thing. It's the football.
And once again, the younger Deere brother is going to have to do the ruck work with the Premiership ruckman sitting on the bench at the moment. Pretty tough in there. Pritchard was thrown out like a rag doll, and umpire Cameron come in and ball it up again.
Things fired up, the boys.
Things are always pretty lively when Roger's on the ball.
And Paul Deere, he's not your classic ruckman. He's only about 6'2", but a lot of skills. Once again, umpire Cameron will ball it up, so young Deere is getting a bit of experience here against Merritt.
Merritt with strength. Williams doing well. High ball, doesn't cover much territory. Mark taken by Spencer at half forward for Essendon. One wonders whether the ball went more than 15 metres, but Spencer's kick up towards full forward. Good tidying up by Kennedy. Off to Dipper Domenico. He'll be tackled, but he breaks the tackle. Close to the boundary line, back pocket. Chip, little left foot chip kick finds Schwab. Schwab at half back, looking for someone to handball to. Forced a kick high towards the wing. And a good mark taken by Hamilton, who's recovered well from that very, very strong bump by Brereton just a few moments ago. Sixth kick coming up, but more importantly, Brereton's only had one. And Brereton, down goes Hamilton again, and the frustrations are showing with Big Dermy as he's confronted by Paul Salmon. The free kick will go to Essendon at centre-half forward. And what the Bombers need to do now is just kick a goal from this, and that will just prove the point.
He's a top player, Brereton, but at times he does some very undisciplined things.
Well, if he goes in the book at this time of the year, it could be very costly.
The ball's been kicked by Madden up towards full forward. No mark taken. Umpire Cameron in control up in the forward line. Umpire Carey back behind play, and we'll have a bounce a matter of 11 metres out from the Essendon goal as Winton has a bit of a dust-up with Brereton. Play goes on. Hawthorn lead by 2 points.
Spencer very high. Oh, he's in trouble, Schwab. And he had to find the safety of giving away a point.
Yes, a very wise move there, because he would have only run into trouble.
Now, will things quieten down? Point the difference after that rush behind. And Langford to kick in. With the breeze to that sort of side of the ground, Lester Smith punches forward. Kennedy, ball stays in. Now it goes out, and we'll have a throw in near the 50-metre line. 34 plays 33, approaching the 23-minute mark in the second term.
Good test for Brereton's discipline now, because with only one match to go before the finals, it's very important that he stays in the Hawthorn side. The ball at half forward, Williams, unselfishly to Clark, and Clark kicks a goal to put the Bombers in front by 5 points. Essendon 6-3-39, Hawthorn 5-4-34, 23-minute mark second quarter, and the Bombers hit the front.
And playing excellent football too, Essendon. Had a pretty patchy year up to this stage. They're really having a go today. And they've had a tremendous lift by their on-ball players. There's a handball from Williams over to Clark. And great running football by the Bombers.
Played a great game, Williams. Well, back in the centre. Salmon on the ball. Comes to tuck. All Essendon here. Folds a lot of possessions on the half-back flank. Up towards half-forward. Bit of a wrestle. Tapped up by Madden. Here's Williams. Tackled high. Or in the back, says the umpire. Free kick. Inside 50. Well, one was high and one was in the back. Take your pick.
He wasn't going to get away, was he?
He was not. He did take a dive, though, also, which didn't help things.
Well, the breeze right at his back from here. Williams, 5 kicks, 8 handballs. Lines up from 48 metres. Hasn't quite made it. Madden underneath the ball, and it goes through for a behind.
All I can say is I'm glad Bernie Quinlan's not an umpire.
I'm just saying, when the two Hawthorn players went to tackle him, he dived for the cover of the ground.
Langford kicks the ball in for Hawthorn. Perfect. Jenke on the 50-metre line. Takes the mark for Hawthorn. Kicks with the left foot. And a little too high for Pritchard. Even though he slipped over, I felt as though it may have gone over his head. And Foles takes the mark on the wing. 12th kick coming up for the veteran. In towards centre-half forward. Good punch away by Ayres. Schwab there for Hawthorn. Backed up well by Russo. Up towards half-forward. Hamilton and Brereton again. The bounce favours Hamilton. Now it favours Brereton. He gets his kick away towards centre-half forward. Backing up well there, Mark Thompson for Essendon. Forced to kick with the right foot. Gathers good distance, though. It goes up towards Williams. Williams, backhanded punch towards centre-half forward. The Bombers are in with another chance. Spencer, unfortunately, a little too far for Baker. Here's Roger, the Dodger. Back around he goes. Now he's onto the left foot. Inside 50 metres. His kick's astray. Goes across Lester Smith. Here's a chance for Clark. Handballs to himself. Well tackled by Lester Smith. Could have been holding the ball. Play on, says the umpire. Hawker there for Essendon. His high left foot kick doesn't gather too much ground. Close to the boundary line. It goes over on the full, and the free kick will go to Hawthorn. 50 metres out from the Essendon goal. The Bombers lead by 6 points.
Yeah, and the Bombers had their chance when it was on this side of the ground, but after Merritt had been so brilliant in dodging and weaving past players, even like Platten, his kick was shocking. Salmon marks forward of the wing. It's a lot of kicks to goal from that side of the ground. Madden may have taken a free and will, right in front.
Yes, interfered with when he was going for the mark. Here it is against Pritchard. He took one high across the shoulders, over the shoulders, and Simon Madden will be shooting for goal from about 25 metres out, directly in front.
This is just his third kick. No trouble at all. And the Hawks have their problems as Essendon go to a 2-goal lead.
Yes, they don't look like the smooth machine that we saw last week in the second half against the Swans. Here's the free kick again. Pritchard all over Simon Madden. And Simon Madden converted that one. A good kick for goal, Simon Madden, from 25 metres out.
Salmon doing the ruck work for the Bombers. Oh, high over the top of Paul Deere. David and Goliath. Paul Salmon and Paul Deere, particularly in height. Young Deere's got plenty of intestinal fortitude, but gee whiz, he's got a big job up against 6'9" Paul Salmon. Salmon taps it out. Folds. Does well. Missed it first, went after it, got it, kicked it towards half forward. Williams, high over the top was Pritchard. He's under pressure in the back pocket. Can't do much with the hand pass. And umpire Cameron calls to the boundary umpire to throw it in. Just inside 50 metres. Essendon lead by 2 goals, 7-4 to 5-4.
Langford doing the rucking. Go back out of bounds. Gary Folds, with those 13 kicks, he's playing on Bertie DiPietdomenico, the Brownlow medalist. Doing a great job. Deere might have won that one. Comes away to Hawker. Slips the hand pass to Folds. Beautiful kick. Clark, unmarked on 50. Go bang, but the siren beat him. Kick didn't make the distance anyway. But at half-time, Essendon, who were thrashed by 114 points when they met the Hawks in the first round, lead at half-time by 12 points, 7-4 to 5-4. And the Essendon fans, who haven't had much to cheer about this year, they're going to miss the finals for the first time since 1980. They're finding a bit of voice today.
You're watching the VFL Match of the Day live around Australia, and we'll be back with the news of the week when we return to the VFL Sports Centre.
Billabong Family Bistros, some people find our chicken avocado fettuccine and Billabong salad rather boring. They're not at all impressed by our trout or our duck with black cherries. They think our desserts are a bit of a yawn. Fortunately for our gourmet patrons, Billabong provide all kinds of specialties, including our piece de resistance, Snakes Alive. Billabong Family Bistros, where the whole family loves the food.
Delta Electrics is Darwin's industrial supermarket, having served the territory for over 18 years. There's equipment available for every job, including Davey and Grundfos pumps, Dunlite power generators, Lincoln and Migo Mag arc welding, Metco high-pressure cleaning equipment, Fenner and Dayco power transmissions, and a large range of BP solar equipment.
Geelong Football Club has apparently upset at rumours of clubs attempting to poach players Andrew Bewes and Gary Ablett. Bewes is still under contract and negotiations are underway to retain the services of Ablett. Fitzroy coach David Parkin has expressed concern that the talented Scott McIver, whose contract with the Lions runs out this year, will return to Queensland to join the Bears. Brian Taylor of Collingwood and the Blues' Ken Hunter were cleared by the tribunal this week. Taylor had been reported for striking Melbourne's Danny Hughes and Hunter on a charge of unduly rough play. The VFL has warned the Cronin Consortium, controllers of the Bears, that they must make their home in the Sunshine State capital under the rules of their licence. The Bears had indicated they wanted to stay at Carrara, but the league says that's not on. St Kilda has been advertising for players in the Situations vacant column of Adelaide newspapers in an unprecedented step to boost its playing strength for next season. What next? The CES? Bomber Tim Watson will play his 200th game when he runs out for Essendon against Hawthorn. Watson will be the third player to achieve his double century at 26 years of age. The others were Alan Martello and Kevin Bartlett. Well, now let's check the scores from around the grounds and see just how everybody's faring in today's round of football, round 21. Of course, Fitzroy and Carlton. Fitzroy 7-6-43, Carlton 6-12-48. North Melbourne and Richmond, North 6-7-43, Richmond in front 6-9-45, and St Kilda 5-6-36 to Collingwood 7-5-47. Roach has kicked 2 and Egan has kicked 2 for Richmond, and Tony Lockett has kicked 4 for St Kilda, all in that second quarter. So not a bad performance, Barry?
Not a bad performance at all by Lockett, 4 goals, so continue on the good work and may get to 125, 130 by the time the year's out. It had a great year.
Be a bit funny after all this fight for the final 5 if Richmond were to tip North Melbourne out of it, wouldn't it?
Well, you said something before the show started, but you can't change your mind midstream. But looks as though there's going to be an upset there, so that'll really throw a cat amongst the pigeons as far as the 5's concerned.
Certainly will.
That happens.
Be interesting to see. Well, one we'll keep an eye on right throughout the afternoon. Take a break. Back with you in just a moment from the VFL Sports Centre. Around and don't wear any padding.
But it's only about 1/8 inch thick, and it's underneath their jumpers. You can't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you're sneaky, you blokes. There's no doubt about you. But it'll certainly be a couple of very interesting games and well worth keeping your eyes on. All right, well, they're just about ready for us back at VFL Park, so let's take you there for the commencement of play in the third quarter in our VFL match of the day today, and it's a beauty between Essendon and Hawthorn. Let's take you back to VFL Park.
Welcome back to VFL Park. Where at half-time, Essendon have a 2-goal lead, 7-4 to 5 goals more. What a turnaround that is from the first round contest.
Essendon players and Hawthorn players mingling just before we get underway for the second half at VFL Park. Essendon fought back in the latter part of the second quarter, and they will start the second half with a 12-point advantage. Dermot Burton, 1 kick up until half-time, and has been in a couple of altercations in the first half. And here we go, umpire Carey with the ball aloft. Start of the second half in the very important match at VFL Park. Salmon in the ruck there, Deere. Thompson for Essendon, kick towards centre-half forward. Ball runs free. Pritchard, dispossessed by Clark. At the back, Merritt. Sullivan. Good play by Schwab. Off to Mew. Mew over the centre towards centre-half forward. Chance for Winton. Opposed by Paul Deere. Winton overruns it. Now Paul Deere goes back after it and does well. Left foot kick to the pocket. Brereton on his own. Well, Terry Danaher had 2 opponents there. Dunstall and Brereton. He elected to go forward with Dunstall and had to leave Brereton alone. And Paul Deere's kick has Dermot Brereton in the forward pocket, shooting for his first goal. Goal umpire moves across ever so slightly, and Brereton makes no mistake. And it's 6 points to Hawthorn, and the difference is 6 points in Essendon's favour.
Yes.
What about
here's a mistake? Here's a mistake by Winton. He missed that one when he attempted to kick it off the ground. Of course, he's let Paul Deere in. And Terry Danaher was caught between the two Hawthorn players. Didn't know which one to guard. Eventually hit Burton on the chest for an easy goal.
Ball up in the middle. Salmon taps out and comes back to him. Now he paddles it away. That was pretty hard to call, that. The umpire says, "Oh, give it to me. I'll sort it out." Johnny Platten last up with it. The leading possession winner on the ground in the first half was Gary Foulds with 19 possessions. 14 kicks, 5 hand passes. Big packs developing here. Nick Walsh up towards half forward. Duckworth moved to the forward line during the second quarter. Gets Morris round the neck, and Morris will take the free kick. So Morris, who was All-Australian centre-half forward, now finds himself in defence. And first kick for the day.
Morris at centre-half back. Covers a lot of ground with this kick. It goes to the back and nearly splashes all over Curran's face. Essendon tidy up. Baker onto Williams, who's run up well. Kicks towards half-forward. Spencer in front. Langford over the top. In support, Schwab caught with the ball. Umpire Cameron decides that he couldn't possibly get rid of it. So there will be a bounce just outside the 50-metre line in Essendon's scoring area. Schwab, good smother by Spencer. Ball goes over and we'll have a throw-in 55 metres around from the Essendon goal. We're 3 minutes into the third quarter. Hawthorn have kicked 1 goal and the difference is 6 points in the Bombers' favour.
Greg Deere against Spencer. Spencer wins. Morris the hand pass through the pack, but it comes unstuck. Kick forward here by Watson. Pulled off his kick is Merritt, allowing Ayres to come in and pick up the crumbs. Up to Brereton, 1 out with Hamilton. Oh, look at that bounce through Hurd, giving Pritchard a chance. Over the top to Curran. In front, 30 metres out. Goal. Scores level.
Not favoured by a good bounce there, Hurd. Clean bowled in, and Pritchard made the most of the situation. A good handball over the top to Curran, and a lovely running goal.
Two quick goals by Hawthorn and the score's level. Sullivan can't break clear. Walsh crashed to the ground by Curran. Play on, says the umpire. Williams over to Watson. Tries to outrun Jenke. Jenke did it well. Watson's kick towards the forward pocket area. Lester Smith gets the hand pass away to Jenke. Jenke over the top. Buckenara. Little bit of time to get back onto the right foot. Kicks it up towards centre-half forward. Curran punches from behind. Good disciplined play. Wallace, who's done well at half-back for Essendon. Tuck's kick smothered off the boot by Winton. Chance for Thompson. The bounce a little awkward. Hurd. Back he goes to Hamilton. Hamilton further forward to Winton. Winton's quick kick. Up towards the centre of the ground and a good brave mark by Hawker in front of Mew.
Funny game, Glenn Hawker. 11 kicks first quarter, just 1 in the second. To centre half forward, dumped down by Greg Deere, pushed out by Schwab to Lester Smith, off to Ayres. Long and nowhere with the breeze. Foulds drops an easy one on the wing. Chance for Kennedy. Running out of room. Is that holding the ball? Bernie Quinlan thought so. Umpire says throw it in.
Well, he gained possession of it and then immediately let it go. All the Essendon player had to do in that situation was hold on to the Guernsey, and it should have been a holding the ball decision.
Boundary throw in between wing and half forward, favouring the Hawks. Chance for Hawker. His kicker smothered off the boot by Tuck. Salmon had nearly bounced off his chest. Williams, Kennedy in there for Hawthorn. Now a chance for Paul Deere. Good tackle by Salmon. Unfair, according to the umpire, and Deere takes the free kick, much to the disgust of the Essendon fans. The ball at centre-half forward, straight through Buckenara. Chance for Thompson. Back in familiar role in defence. Winton. The Bombers are on the run. Up towards half forward. Morris, opposed by Duckworth. Morris with a little bit more class. Can he get clear of the Baker tackle? He gets the handball over the top. Platten. hard up against the boundary line, manages to keep the ball in play, covers 35 metres, up towards half forward. Now a chance for young Wallace. He gets around onto his right hand, gets the hand pass away to Thompson with experience and composure. Hamilton, long handball into the centre. Foles with plenty of space, goes direct. It's not a bad kick. It's slightly over the head of Sullivan. Langford opposed by Hawker. In it comes Ayres to back him up. He's interfered with by Sullivan, and Ayres will take the free kick for Hawthorn between the back pocket and half-back flank, about 45 metres out from the Essendon goal, and a poor tackle by David Sullivan.
Yes, no doubt about that free kick, but bad luck for Essendon. It was a promising forward move, and had the kick been better, they could have had a chance to kick a goal there.
Scores level, 7-4 apiece. Some awkward bounces of this football, which is pumped up too much. Well, players are pumped up too. Platten leads the race. Outside half forward. Great little pass, but Buckenara had to prop and cop for it and slipped. Back to Platten. Buckenara again, but the ball was out before he tapped it back. Well, a bit of a comedy of errors at the start of the second half, but the Hawks have kicked 2 goals to level the score.
7.5 minutes gone. Half forward flank for Hawthorn. Madden gets the tap out. Clark can't quite get an effective kick. It's at half forward. Buckenara takes possession, and he's been penalised for not trying to move it on, and the Bombers will take the free kick and half back through Foles. Baker's made position down near the wing, but Foles elects to go long. He kicks it up in the Duckworth direction. Now the bounce favours Baker. Can he get his kick away? He's in the back. Did not try to get the ball on, and Baker is penalised. The free kick to Ayres.
Well, he ducked into that one also. I think the umpire made the right decision on that occasion.
And the kick went very wide and too long, and the ball out of play. I think there have been more frees for holding the ball today than I've seen in a game for a long time. The tacklers are certainly being rewarded. Madden wins. It goes to Brereton. Pritchard with Hurd, and the ball out again. We've seen throw-ins and ball-ups, bad bounces, teammates crashing into each other. There's plenty of pressure on, and Essendon trying to recover some lost pride after the first round thrashing. Through goes Brereton, knocks over his opponent. Free kick to Thompson. And Bomber Thompson coming up for his 11th kick.
Well, he did well, kicking 2 goals in the forward line in the first half. Now he looks as though he's back in the very familiar role in defence. The ball goes back towards half forward for Hawthorn. Watson can't quite get there, and we'll have a boundary throw in about 65 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. The scores are level. We're nearly 10 minutes into the third quarter, and Hawthorn with the aid of the breeze in the third term.
This is the attacking side, but they don't seem to be able to get it out of here. All Hawthorn. Pritchard over the top to Kennedy. Kennedy on the forward line, hooks for goal and misses. But it's enough to put the Hawks in front by a point.
They could have raffled that one, Hawthorn. There was 3 Hawthorn players had a chance to grab that one and have a shot at goal.
Danaher kicks in for Essendon. Covers 60 metres towards centre-half back. At the back of the pack. Chance for Buckenara. Good tackle by Wallace. On the bottom of the pack, Sullivan can't break clear. And Cameron, umpire Peter Cameron, will bounce at centre-half forward for Hawthorn. Hawthorn leading by a point. Good tap out wide. Brereton, a flip over. Platten tackled by Thompson, a good one. The ball runs free into the pocket. Terry Danaher will take it over. Oh, a poor effort there by the Hawthorn player in Brereton, but the ball had gone out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in some 30 metres around from the 20 metres around from the Hawthorn goal.
He kicked a sensational 8 goals against Essendon in the year Essendon won by the record score. Lone hand performance. Baker's little kick along the ground. Foles knocking up, getting the ball. Williams, great. Hurd, but the hand pass out too wide, and he missed his teammate Sullivan. And a poor kick by Sullivan. Lester Smith failed to spoil. Lightning hand pass comes inboard to Hawker. Caught by Greg Deere. Umpire said the ball held in, and he'll ball it up. Fans, I reckon, of both teams not too happy with the umps.
Well, Hawker looked as though he was perhaps playing for the free kick there, and umpire Carey did the right thing, I thought, letting play go on. Merritt can't get the ball out. Now he can. Slightly ineffective. Tuck's kick more so. Into the centre. You talked about the bounce of the ball. Gee, the players must be confused. Kennedy did it well. Across to brother-in-law Russo. Outside 50 metres. Russo kicks a goal for the Hawks. No-nonsense football by John Kennedy and Peter Russo. And Hawthorn kicked their 8th goal at the 12-minute mark of the 3rd quarter.
A magnificent kick by Russo. There he is running outside the 50-metre mark. He's kicked it from about 55 metres. And I thought he may have held on to it a little bit long there because the Essendon player really hit him hard towards the end, but a magnificent running kick for goal.
Back in the centre, and the Hawks doing all the scoring with the breeze this quarter. Baker out of the middle. No man's land. Williams overruns. Merritt back out wide, over his head by Foles to Williams. Oh, and then he gave it away to Buckenara. Short of half forward. Hamilton's played a top game. Wallace, you're in trouble. Gets out of it well. But what a shocking kick. What a terrific pickup down there. The hand pass now astray, so a bit of good play followed up by a mistake. Russo wide to Curran. Curran short pass to Schwab. Long way out. Here's Greg Deere from 50. Good kick. Well, it looks like the Hawks are swamping them, but they do have the breeze. They started the quarter 2 goals down and now lead by 13 points.
They have lifted their level of play, though, Hawthorn. They've really got their running game going. And the last 2 goals that they have kicked have been almost from the identical position, running that ball down into the forward line and kicking from just about on the 50-metre mark.
And from the corridor, very important in blustery conditions. No one can really break clear until Platten gets a throw away to Russo. Play on, says the umpire. Well, I couldn't quite work it out. He was signalling to me as though it was a throw. Dunstall takes position in the forward pocket. His kick's not bad. Swings around with a breeze over the top of the goalpost. Just offline, through for a behind. The Hawks by 14 points. 14-minute mark, 3rd quarter.
Oh, that one would have been a miraculous goal had he kicked that. But Dunstall been playing on Danaher all day and he's only kicked 1 goal, 1 for the day.
It's got to come back. 4 goals, 2 to nothing in this quarter, Hawthorn. And we've been playing 14 and a half minutes. Danaher, who is so often interchangeable at Essendon, he stayed at full-back on Dunstall all day. Short pass to Baker. Not much gain in territory. They have the ball. Baker to half-back flank. Thompson, courage mark.
Certainly was a courageous mark by Mark Thompson. Curran seemed to come over the mark. Didn't make any difference to Thompson's kick. Lands in the centre, marked by Hawker. Hawker up towards centre-half forward. Madden in front. Good punch away by Deere. Now Madden over the top. Watson. Jenke under pressure. 4 Essendon players. Jenke does it well. Gets it back to Greg Deere onto Platten at half-back. Very direct. Finds Brereton in the centre for one of his rare possessions. Perhaps his 6th kick coming up. Long one towards the forward pocket. Dunstall can't mark. Good contesting by Terry Danaher. Now a chance for Kennedy. Flips it out to Russo. Russo outside 50 metres. Goes towards Pritchard. Brereton at the back. Play on. Into an open goal and Brereton kicks his 2nd.
And Dermot Brereton's the first Hawthorn player to kick 2 goals. They've kicked 10 and there have been 9 different goal kickers.
And that's the good thing about this Hawthorn side. Players such as Brereton, who can be quite early in the game, are such classy players that you have to really watch them closely for the full 120 minutes. Otherwise, they can break loose and win a game in 10 or 15 minutes of football.
And they might just be doing that right now, Hawthorn. They've kicked 5-2 to nothing in 16 minutes. Spencer with a big thump. All Hawthorn. Lester Smith. Unmarked Pritchard. 40 metres in the clear. Great pass. Brereton again. Hamilton spoils. Brereton goes back. Hurd after him now. Hamilton back in there. Good fight for the ball. Platten. Great roving John Platten. Pulled off it when he didn't have it. Free kick to Platten, the Brownlow medal favourite.
This has really lifted their level in the second half. And now it's Essendon who are making the silly mistakes and giving away a few unnecessary free kicks.
What a shocking tackle by Winton. Platten's kick slightly off the side of his boot. It's at centre-half back. Wallace's kick smothered by Paul Deere. Goes wide into the pocket. Tuck. Good disciplined kick by Tuck to the front of the square. And marked by Dunstall. If Dunstall can kick a goal here, what a sensational piece of play by their captain. Hard up against the boundary line. Hooked the ball back. And Dunstall only 25 metres out directly in front. Kicks. Another goal for Hawthorn, their 11th. Dunstall second. And the Hawks go rampaging on.
Yes, you called that perfectly because it was excellent play by Michael Tuck. Hard up against the boundary line. There was an excellent smother too by Paul Deere, who's really added a bit to this Hawthorn side. There's Michael Tuck. Didn't even have a look at the goals. Just went for the centering kick. Danaher very early. Didn't time it very well at all, and Dunstall didn't even have to jump to take that mark. There's Roger Merritt, I think, off the ground, and he's been replaced by Spencer.
He doesn't look well. Looks like he could have the flu or something. Folds. Leading kick winner on the ground in the first half. That's his 17th kick. He's kept on going with it. Lester Smith. Had to go for the boundary line. Nobody there. The Bombers, who really had a charge at it in the first half, have been swamped this quarter. 6-2 to nothing. But they'll have the breeze in the last quarter.
At the back, Duckworth. Quick kick towards full forward, Salmon. Clark. Can't quite break clear. He's kick well smothered by Morris. Morris goes after it again and is rewarded with a free kick. Doesn't mess around. Gets the handball out wide to Ayres. Rebound football. Hawthorn 2-1. Buckenara over the top. Chance for Pritchard. Forced to kick quickly towards half forward. Curran. Not paid. Russo. Good tackle by young Wallace. Platten roving to perfection. Up where the ball is. Pritchard. Towards centre-half forward. Dunstall dive for it. Yes. 45 metres out. And a chance for another Hawthorn goal.
And the way they've been kicking in this quarter, Jason Dunstall shouldn't have any problems making the distance. He'll be kicking from just outside the 15-metre mark.
Hooks the kick a little bit and goes through for a behind. Another good kick by Pritchard to Dunstall. Dipper on the bench for the Hawks with Loveridge.
Winton kicks in to Clark. Short pass. Well, they've gained about 25 metres with 2 kicks, 2 marks. Back to Clark from Folds. Morris there, the front of the pack hawker. Tunnels it out to Danaher, who's moved up the ground. Umpire said it was a throw. Free kick to Dunstall. He went down the ground with Danaher. Goal square job. Platten stays at the back, but it won't reach him. Oh, great roving! Over his shoulder. Beauty!
Great roving by Johnny Platten. And he is really a class player. Here it is again. They fly for it in the goal square. Terry Danaher nearly taking the mark. A perfect roving by Johnny Platten and an excellent snap over his shoulder.
Well, it might be a little too far for the Bombers to get back from here. 33 points in arrears. 21 minutes gone. The Hawks go into attack again through Pritchard. Up towards centre-half forward. Clark turns them away temporarily. There's Platten again going after it. Gee, he doesn't do his Brownlow medal chances any harm. He's got another kick up towards full forward. Dunstall from behind. There's another goal coming up. Buckenara. Lick your chops, Gary Buckenara. 13-7 Hawthorn, 7-4 the Bombers.
That's 8-3 to nothing for the quarter in 22 minutes.
Yes, it's been a great quarter of football by this Hawthorn side. And they've got so many class players that it's pretty hard to keep a hold of them for the entire 120 minutes. There's an easy goal to Buckenara. And Hawthorn have ran right away with this game in the third quarter.
They started the term 12 points behind. Now it's 85 to 46. Hawthorn forward again from the centre. Paul Dear, great hand pass to Ayres. Dunstall won out with his opponent Danaher. Lost sight of it. Hamilton back there for Essendon. Dropped it. And only a whisker away was Brereton. Set to pounce.
Yes, maybe a bit fortunate to get away with that one, Essendon, because that fumble nearly let Brereton in.
Kick in finds Williams. Handballs back to Terry Danaher, out towards half-back. Watson slips over, Tuck to Platten. Platten to Curran. Curran back to Tuck. Oh, clean bowls, Michael Tuck. And goes over and we'll have a throw in.
Shouldn't have hesitated, Michael. Should have ran at the ball. Maybe you got it on the half volley.
Hasn't played enough games.
A bit of an experience, you think?
There's only about 330. Dear down to Kennedy. Kick wide to the forward pocket. And there'll be a boundary throw-in. 40 points the difference. Alan Jeans taking a breather. Well, last week they were in a bit of strife at half-time against the Swans and it killed them. Done the same here today. Kennedy. A hand pass away to Folds. Not out of trouble yet. Russo with Thompson. And the ball out again.
Nearly time on in the third quarter. And it's been all Hawthorn. 13-8 to 7-4. The ball at the back of the pack. Hurd kicks the Bombers out of trouble. Goes towards Wallace and Curran. Wallace did well in front of Curran. Decides on a bounce. Now in short. The kick reasonably effective. Duckworth a little too slow. You've been caught. Morris.
Don't do anything silly. Got a good picture on that one.
Morris to take the free kick. Maybe you'd have got away with it a couple of years ago, Billy, but the persistence of Russell Morris, A1, on the wing. Kicks the ball 50 metres towards centre-half forward. At the back, over the top, Paul Dear. Williams does the roving. There's a chance for John Kennedy into an open goal. Another one on the board to Hawthorn. 14-8. 92. And they've doubled Essendon's score 7-4-46.
And they've kicked 9-4 for the quarter, which is a new record score for Hawthorn in the third quarter against Essendon.
And they could even kick a couple more. 25.5 minutes into the quarter. There will be a fairly long quarter because of the number of goals kicked. And that was John Kennedy's first goal. But they've really put on the pressure in the third quarter, Hawthorn.
Essendon a chance to go forward through Sullivan. Thompson now looks as though he might be on the ball. Baker can't break clear. Neither can Hurd. Salmon fumbles. Mew, a quick kick. Paul Dear on to Buckenara. Chipping in was Walsh. Kicks it out wide to the wing. Watson in front of Russo. Watson, left foot kick. Just held it back a little as though that knee may not be quite 100%, but his kick has been marked by Spencer on centre wing.
Duckworth and Morris having their own little war.
Watson still behind play, huffing and puffing. Spencer's kick up towards the half-forward flank area. Williams doesn't mark. Perhaps he was waiting for Russo to come in and do the contesting, but the umpire gave him 98 out of 100 for effort and has given him the chance at half-forward to put the Bombers into the goal square. At the back of the pack, good mark, well judged by Greg Deere.
Playing his 50th game today, Greg Deere. Played in the senior premiership team last year. That's a poor kick by Pritchard. Hasn't quite gone out yet, or just by Langford it was. And he followed it up to make sure it went out. Hawks double the Bombers score, 92-46. Comes to the back to Buckenara. Off to Lester Smith. Bit of space for Morris. Support up from defence, Mew. Out wide for Kennedy. Great goal, that last one. Oh, he's beaten this time by Walsh. Good mark.
Excellent mark by Walsh at half-back. Play on, says the umpire. His kick goes towards the centre of the ground, and the mark's been taken by Spencer. Slow motion, 1950 style football, Essendon. Kicks in the air, up towards the Essendon half-forward line, but it's turned away by that strong Hawthorn defence. Lester Smith, Morris, you name them, they're all there. Ayres.
It's gone 100 metres so far, and still bouncing. Brereton claims Hamilton. Great tackle. No free kick for it. Brereton's still in there. Hamilton under pressure to Danaher. Finally away to Salmon. Can't believe that kick by Morris. If he'd go 100 metres. Hawker, it would be a comedy of errors if there was a laugh in it. But it's a tragedy of errors.
They can't do anything right in this quarter, Essendon.
Flatten around Salmon easily. 15th kick coming up. May even be a goal. No, just touched by John Kennedy, but it was going through for behind anyway. And Hawthorn go on to 14-9. 93. Essendon 7-4-46. It's all Hawks.
Kick into Winton. Behind half-back. We're approaching the 29-minute mark, and the Bombers scoreless for the quarter. Winton to the far wing to Hawker. Slowed down a bit since his great start. Greg Deere to Platten. What a quarter Johnny Platten's played. Centering kick. Dunstall from behind. Danaher in front. Curran's kick for goal offline behind. Well, Kevin Sheedy had been in the finals every year he's been the Bombers coach until this year, and a run comes to an end.
Winton will kick the ball in for Essendon. It's a shocker towards centre half back. Picked up nicely by Thompson. His handball a little bit too far for the captain, Terry Danaher. Hand pass on to Thompson again. Buckenara does the tackling. Thompson got the free kick away, and Bucky, you just grabbed him as he got rid of it, and Thompson will take the free kick for Essendon between half-back and centre wing. His kick goes into the centre of the ground, marked by Folds. Folds goes the long one, covers 55 metres. Spencer can't mark. Held when he was going for the ball was Lester Smith or Schwab, was it? Schwab will take the free kick for Hawthorn at half-back.
Yes, Ben Hawker had hold of his hand, and the umpire did well to pick that one up.
Jenke into Pritchard. Curran a chance. Oh, what a mark in front of him. Dragged down by Walsh. Nick Walsh. No relation of Kevin Walsh, more senior member of the team. Second grab of beauty.
Play in the centre of the ground. Hawthorn coming forward again. Repelled by Billy Duckworth. Left foot kick as a shocker off the side of the boot. Goes over the line. Further away from the Essendon goal from when Duckworth kicked it. Took a bit of a leg break, and we'll have a throw in. Half forward flank for Hawthorn. Third quarter has been in progress just over 30 minutes. So the siren not too far away. As a matter of fact, there it is. 48 points Hawthorn lead by after trailing by 12 at half-time. 14-10-94. Essendon 7-4-46. Goal kickers for Hawthorn, 2 each to Platten, Brereton, Dunstall and Buckenara. And singles to Russo, Lester Smith, Deere, Curran, Schwab, and Kennedy. For Essendon, 2 goals to Mark Thompson and 1 each to Hawker, Madden, Duckworth, Williams and Neil Clark.
And just for the record, in that term, Hawthorn 9 goals 6, a new record third term against Essendon. Essendon scoreless.
While you're still fast asleep, we're flat out on our feet. We've got to keep this nation on the go. When your working day is through, we've got 12 million things to do, picking up and sorting coast to coast. We're Australia Post. We deliver. We deliver. I love yous, IOUs, handle with cares and teddy bears. Lettergrams and faxes, couriers and parcel packs, yes. We're Australia Post. We deliver. We deliver. Any destination across the world. Across the nation. Across the world. We're Australia Post. We deliver.
Hyundai is the best value in Australia, and it's solidly built. And there are now 100 dealers around Australia with highly trained service staff and a full range of lower-cost parts. This is the new, fully imported 3-door hatchback, still only $10,490. And another thing, Hyundai owners report amazing economy figures.
Some champions are the strong, silent type, like this NEC remote control stereo TV. With no inbuilt speakers, it's silent, but simply connected to your hi-fi. And it's another top performer from NEC.
It's a very small difference that separates one unleaded petrol from the rest. But it's this very difference that gives it a significant edge, that allows it to break new ground, to break free. Shell Ultra, break free.
Red Cross gives a helping hand to many thousands of people in many different ways. But that helping hand needs money to be able to help.
Welcome back, and later on in the show, we'll relive the highlights of last night's encounter between the Demons and the Eagles on the VFL Match of the Day. And now let's check the three-quarter time score line in today's Match of the Day between the Bombers and the Hawks. And the Bombers failed to add to their score in the third term. They still rest on 7-4-46, and that score gave them a 12-point margin at half-time. They are now trailing by 48 points with Hawthorn 14-10-94. Multiple goal kickers for the Bombers. Mark Thompson has got 2. But for the Hawks, Dermot Brereton has 2, Jason Dunstall 2, Platten 2, and Gary Buckenara 2. And an absolutely devastating quarter as far as Hawthorn were concerned, because they ripped the daylights out of the Bombers in that one.
That was just an absolutely great quarter, because Hawthorn down on form in the first half, and everybody really lifted their performance by a good 50 or 60%. Their whole forward line started to play well. They started to move the ball well into the forward line, which gave Brereton, Dunstall, Curran all opportunities to score goals, and Platten had a great quarter, so they really didn't have a bad play in that quarter.
And again, we saw that pattern of play that we're accustomed to from Hawthorn, that they start attacking right from that back line.
Well, they just moved down the ground in waves, and they never just cease to amaze me, Hawthorn. They're such a good side, and they're just extremely difficult to keep down all day long, and some of their discipline is just first class, as we saw Tuck there centre the ball back for Dunstall to take a strong mark.
And the statistics?
Well, I think they would have swung around a little bit. Their kicks still a little bit in Essendon's favour. Marks well, Essendon's still in control there, but handball's 94-75, so it's hard to see where they're winning on the in the statistics.
Right, let's get a look at these scores now. And Fitzroy 10-11-71 to Carlton 11-17-83, North Melbourne 11-9-75, Richmond 7-17-59, and St Kilda 11-10-76 to Collingwood 7-9-51. Let's take you back to VFL Park for the commencement of play in the final term.
And back for the start of the last quarter here at VFL Park. The Hawks just tied the game up in the third quarter, but what can Essendon salvage out of this wreck? Kick out wide towards the wing. They're all bunched up near the centre circle. Chase on for it. Jenke gains about 5 metres, and the ball out of play. Well, can Hawthorn continue that avalanche, kicking into the breeze in the last turn? They really got into top gear in that third quarter.
Boundary throw in, high over the top deer. Chance for Lester Smith. He tried to get it to Schwab. Schwab on the bottom of the pack. Tackled around the neck, according to the umpire. And Schwab will take the free kick for Hawthorn. Half-back flank. The Hawks lead by 8 goals. Schwab's kick towards the wing, and a good mark taken by Curran just inside the boundary line. And Essendon just look as though they may have eased right up. Curran has got Deer in support. Now Curran's in trouble. Dispossessed by Williams. Williams now kicks from nearly the standing start position towards half forward. Mark taken by Ayres with superior judgment. He's got Morris in support. Morris through centre half back. Got no one really to kick it to. Elects to go long into the centre. Good mark taken by Watson over the top of Russo, and Watson will put the Bombers into attack.
From the centre of the ground, up towards half forward. Danaher on the forward line now. He's been full back for 3 quarters, playing on Dunstall. Now on the forward line, and Danaher for goal from just outside 50. Short pass, and it's well directed, and on the chest of Billy Duckworth. Morris let Duckworth slip away that time. And they both started at the opposite ends of the ground. Duckworth gone from defender to forward, and Morris vice versa. Now Duckworth from 40 metres out. Gee, got under that. It's like a sandwich. Out of bounds.
Terrible kick by Bill. He didn't look confident at all. He kicked a beautiful goal from a similar position earlier on in the game, but seemed to lose all confidence when coming in for that kick.
Chance for the Bombers to score. It's in their forward pocket. Lester Smith right against the boundary line. Can't take possession of the football before it goes over, and we'll have a throw in about 40 metres around from the Essendon goal. Dipper Domenico on the bench for Hawthorn. Loveridge, who hurt his knee early in the game, could be a very, very bad blow for Hawthorn coming into the finals, with Richard Loveridge perhaps a severe knee injury.
Deer knocks it up the ground, intercepted by Danaher. Wide to Foles. He's played a top game. It's part of the reason Dipper's on the bench. Rushed through by Langford. And that's Essendon's first score, and it hasn't come through any deeds of their own. Their first score since half-time. The 27-minute mark of the second quarter.
Langford kicks it in, just goes over Buckenara's head. Foles. Handball back to Madden. Madden's got the chance to kick it with his left foot, his favoured foot. Intercepted by Platten. Shocker by Platten. Looking for Brereton out wide. The bounce is awkward. Hamilton tried to be pushed off the ball by Brereton. He nearly keeps it in, Hamilton. But unfortunately for the Bombers, it's just more precious time just frittering away. We're nearly 4 minutes into the last quarter, and they've only had 1 behind added to their score from 3-quarter time. Williams, a flip-on, is penalised by umpire Cameron, and the free kick will go to Essendon. Williams across to Clark. Clark's high ball towards centre half forward. Ayres nearly took the mark. Jenke there. Hawker at the back. He's got Mark Thompson in support. He gets around the Hawthorn defence, goes goalwards and kicks his 3rd goal. And some ironical cheers from the Essendon fans, who I would think...
If you want an office that's really in vogue, or this kind of style, it's all in Mode. See Mode today for a special design. Mode leaves the others a long way behind.
This sort of touch is really for me. Equipment, furniture and stationery. Mode Designs have really got class. If you want it, you got it. Get into Mode fast. Winnelli's the place to get into Mode. MODE on Coonawarra Road.
Back in the centre, and Madden wins, goes to Platten. He'll take a free kick, John Platten. Well, he could nearly do his Brownlow chances further good in this last quarter if he gets another dozen possessions, because in the third term he had 11, total for 24 for the match. Coming up for his 18th kick. What a player. He's won a Magarey medal, finished 4th in the Brownlow last year. He might go 3 places better this time. Tuck in front. Good mark. Long way out. One out, Dunstall. Coming from behind, or he crashed into them. It'll be a free kick to the man in front if it's not to be Hamilton's mark. Now it's back to Hamilton.
Hamilton in the last line of defence for Essendon. His kick out wide. Good mark taken by Russo. Buckenara, 40 metres out. Goes for goal. A little short. Williams roves it well. Looping handball over the top to Walsh. Forced to kick with the left foot. Up towards Simon Madden. Crashes into the player. Here's Platt coming up for kick number 19. Dispossessed by Clark. Curran's hand pass. Back to Lester Smith. Lester Smith high, wide. And it goes over just before Gary Buckenara can reach it. And we'll have a throw in. Half forward flank for Hawthorn. The scoreboard, Hawthorn 14-10, Essendon 8 goals 5, as the disconsolate Bomber supporters listen to their tale of woe.
And unfortunately for the Bombers, it's not an 8-goal breeze. And they're not playing well enough either. Winton across to Thompson. He and Folds just about their best. Up to Danaher. Oh, comes back to him. He gets a second chance. Unmarked Salmon. 35, 40 metres out. He hooked it back too far. That's his first score for the day, Paul Salmon, but he hasn't been at full forward too often.
Thought Terry Danaher may have run with the ball a little bit.
Yes, I think he saw the opportunity to pop it across to Salmon. He probably could have run a bit further.
Well, one of Hawthorn's rare mistakes, the kick in has gone out without anyone touching it, and the free kick will go to Essendon, half forward flank, 55 metres from goal, to be taken by Terry Danaher. And as usual, no one to kick it to. He pops it up looking for Salmon. He's behind. Here's a chance now for Thompson. On to Spencer. Well tackled by Jenke. Ball runs free. Russo there to tidy up. Left foot kick a little too high. Mark taken by Folds for the Bombers. Right on the 50-metre line. This man can kick a ball. He decides to go in short, and Hawker takes the mark 43 metres from goal. And a chance for Essendon to kick their 9th goal. They're 8-6-54. They're 40 points behind. We're nearly 8 minutes gone. Hawker coming up for kick number 15. Not a bad kick by Hawker. Lands it just over the goal square, and the mark's been taken by Mew.
Mew short to the back pocket. Danger. Breeze helping the ball out of play over there. Just inside the line, the mark to Schwab. Over the top to Lester Smith. Has been great in the chain, Lester Smith. Now Watson. Thompson again. Hooking back. Madden. Punched away by Deere to Platt. There goes the Rat. High to the wing. Curran. Good mark.
Curran on a tuck. The Hawks are running. Into the breeze. Dunstall. Great mark by Dunstall in front of Merritt. Dunstall has kicked 2 goals, 5th mark. And the ball now, Brereton. Kick off the ground by Merritt. Mark taken by Russo for Hawthorn, slightly forward of centre wing. Goes out wide, mark to Tuck. Tuck much too far out to score. In short, Brereton takes the mark for Hawthorn, 55 metres out and kicking into a strong breeze.
Dermott, 8 kicks today. He had 22 last week. A lot of elevation. It almost hit him in the forehead coming backwards. Wallace gets the hand pass away to Winton. And off to Danaher. Good running, Folds. The veteran of the team, and he's played a top game. But this time he's well caught in the tackle. And the free kick will go to Pritchard.
Perfect tackle by Pritchard. Gary Folds decided to take him on and wasn't up to getting around him.
Determination by the youngster from Sandy Bay. Kick towards the forward pocket. Free kick being picked out of it by umpire Carey. And it'll go to the Bombers to be taken by Williams. He plays on, goes across goal, kicks out wide to the half-back flank looking for Watson. Watson opposed by Russo. Russo tries to get the handball back over the top. Tucks there. So is Hamilton for Essendon. Handball to Watson. Watson's got Walsh in support. Walsh's high kick towards centre forward. Madden's a big chance. He taps it on conveniently for Duckworth. The Bombers have got the numbers. Clark, his kick is a poor one. Off the side of his boot, out of bounds. When a better placed kick would have given Terry Danaher a tremendous chance to score for Essendon.
That's exactly right. A centering kick was required there from Clark.
A few of the Bombers who have missed a lot of games this year through injury just really fallen in a heap with lack of match fitness. Williams had a great start to the game. And Watson, I'm afraid, in his 200th, hasn't done enough. Now the Hawks out of defence. Lester Smith again. On to Buckenara. Morris has a look round and says, oh, I can go on a bit further. Up to Brereton with Hamilton. And against Brereton, he didn't like the decision, gave the umpire a mouthful. Hamilton, poor old kick. Hard for Hurd. Off to Merritt. Brereton, what a tackle! What a tackle by Dermot Brereton. He burst the ball out of his hands. Platten finds Dunstall. Open goal. Great football, Hawthorn. Dunstall all the way. Started by Brereton.
At Billabong Family Bistros, some people find our chicken avocado fettuccine and Billabong salad rather boring. They're not at all impressed by our trout or our duck with black cherries. They think our desserts are a bit of a yawn. Fortunately for our gourmet patrons, Billabong provide all kinds of specialties, including our piece de resistance, snakes alive. Billabong Family Bistros, where the whole family loves the food.
All alone up on that forward line. Roger Merritt having made the dash up through the centre. And that was an easy goal to Dunstall for his third.
Salmon, good tap out. Spencer, Baker, well tackled. Good tackle by Russo. Schwab cleans up for the Hawks, out towards half forward. Curran leads. Hurd. Curran comes back. Enough space to kick it with the right foot. It's well smothered. Russo. Schwab. Watson comes in for Essendon. They can't handle the ball very cleanly. Good pressure by Paul Deere, but the umpires decided a free kick was given away by that tackle, and Watson will be the recipient for the Bombers at half-back. 11th kick coming up for Timmy Watson.
Out towards the wing, badly directed kick. Amazing how many kicks have gone out close to that boundary line, that dead side. Tuck tidies up well and finds Russo. Russo's kick up towards half forward and Kennedy. Drops short, but a good pick up on the bounce. John Kennedy centering to Platten. JP's got it again. Coming up for his 20th kick. What a season he's had. I wonder if he'll pull a comb out for Brownlow night. Curran, right in front. No opposition from the red and blacks. And Sheedy, apart from getting on the phone, all he can do now is to plan for next year.
He's ringing God, isn't he?
What, Brereton? He wants him to play for Essendon.
Yeah, what can he do now? It's all too late after a good performance in that first half, Essendon.
Curran right through the middle. And they're outscoring the Bombers into the breeze. In fact, Essendon have kicked just 1 goal 2 since half-time.
That's Curran's second goal. And here's the mark to Curran. Well done by Brereton too. He got in the way of Hamilton there and didn't didn't allow Hamilton to get in and spoil Curran.
Curran read it well.
He did. He drifted across that pack. It was very difficult conditions to take those marks today.
Bounce favours Madden, but Deere gets the tap out. That's Greg Deere. Now he flips it on. Folds there for Essendon. Kick towards half forward, marked by Pritchard. He plays on and kicks a long one towards centre half forward. Brereton. One-handed mark as he held Hamilton out with the right. He hooked it in with the left. And boy, he must be strong. He's kicked towards the forward pocket area. Winton, tackled by Buckenara. Winton hit across the face by the Paul Deere tackle. And he gets the free kick at half-back for Essendon. 52 points the Hawks lead by, 16-10 to 8-6, and we're past the halfway mark of the last quarter.
Hurd. Oh, Hamilton in trouble. Into Foles. Trouble for Baker. And a wild kick. Morris well placed. Oh, and over the back, Salmon. Paul Salmon pops it up for Duckworth. Right in front, on the edge of the square. Is that Salmon's, what, second mark for the day? No, he's actually taken 4. Didn't seem like that many.
No, it's been a quiet day for Paul Salmon, but don't forget the conditions have been very difficult for a player of his size.
And Duckworth, I think, has missed from about 12 metres out. So twice in this last quarter, he's had absolute gimmies.
We're just wrapping him up early in the game too, saying he didn't miss too many. Billy Duckworth, but that was a terrible kick for goal.
Well, it tops off a sad day. The Bombers, I think, Drew, you've mentioned that at half-time they led by 2 goals, and they've done it pretty well, but the Hawks have completely obliterated them in the second half. Kick out towards half-back, punched away from Simon Madden by Deere, and we've got a throw-in. Half-forward flank for Essendon, 65 metres around from their goal, as David Sullivan prepares to come back for another run.
Duckworth's off.
Kick by Baker, high to centre half forward, no mark. Thompson again, he's given his all. Around the neck, and Mark Thompson will take the free kick at centre half forward for Essendon, as Duckworth is pulled, dragged, whatever you like to call it, but he's been replaced. Mark Thompson, with kick number 17, he can put his hand out and take his paycheck with some pride, because he's kicked 3 goals, a chance to kick his 4th. Just doesn't quite get onto it, and it drifts across the face of the goal through for a behind. 3 goals 2 to Mark Thompson, and the Bombers scoreboard doesn't improve very much at all.
Interesting you mentioned the paycheck, because in the first round when the Hawks whipped them, Essendon withheld their money. Would they think of doing it again? Gone backwards in the second half. Here's Bomber Thompson going hard at it. Help from Winton. Got the ball out of play in the forward pocket. 106 plays 56. A 10-goal lead to the Hawks, who trailed by 2 goals at halftime. 18 minutes gone in the last quarter. Up very high is Deere, Greg Deere, to punch out of bounds. Well, the Hawks will have to rely on Carlton. They're losing one of their last 2 games to get top spot. Otherwise, they'll be in the qualifying final. Here's Thompson, loses it in the tackle of Schwab. Schwab gave it away to Williams. High across the face of goal past Salmon. Caught by Langford. And in numbers, the Hawks will get out of it.
Morris gets it back to Langford. Little bit of space for himself. Kicks out towards the wing area. No mark taken. Curran, who was fortunate enough to stand up as young Wallace fell over. And he gets the kick away, and it goes to the wing. There's another Hawthorn player, looks like Russo, in the hands of the trainers in the back pocket. As the play goes back to the wing on the outer side of the ground, we have a boundary throw in, but a Hawthorn player in the hands of the trainers behind play. Tuck takes the ball away from young Wallace. He's kicked towards half forward. Brereton over the top, had to sit on Hamilton. And no mistake, Dermot Brereton takes the mark and plays on, kicks it inside the 50-metre line. Good interception by Merritt. Whitten there to help him out. Paul Deere, the Hawthorn player, doing the pressuring, and the ball goes over the line. We'll have a throw in about 30 metres around from the Hawthorn goal as Dipia Domenico prepares to have a run. He hasn't been on the ground for, what, half a game?
Yeah, since half-time he's hasn't been on the ground in the second half.
Folds out of defence, had to kick it anywhere. There's no Essendon players there. Pritchard leads the race, still full of running. Shepherded by Buckenara. Pritchard pops it up short. Brereton, good spoil, Hamilton. He started really well on him, Paul Hamilton, but Brereton has come back. He's just kicked 2 goals, Dermot Brereton. Last week he kicked 4-4. Past the 20-minute mark in the last quarter. A real scrap in there. Off comes Michael Tuck, actually. And Dipia Domenico gets a reprieve. Lester Smith across the face to Dunstall. Charges at it, but can't quite reach it. And helped out by Merritt. He had a tough day chasing Hawke around, especially early on, Michael Tuck. He's had a lot of games of football in those legs.
Boundary throw in 35 metres from the Hawthorn goal. Thompson's kick, he just held back a little bit. Dipper's in the play straight away. Schwab, Russo, recovered well. Kick marked by Simon Madden in the back pocket for Essendon. Scoreboard miserable. Madden's caught, just manages to get away. His kick sets Clark up. Buckenara intercepts. Round onto the right foot. Bucky shoots for goal and misses. Across the face. Dunstall. Merritt there for the Bombers. Struggling to get the ball clear. Not much system. And Deere forces Thompson over the line, and we'll have another throw in 25 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. As Tuck on the bench and a disconsolate Richard Loveridge, who hurt his knee in the second quarter. Boundary throw in, back pocket for Essendon. Hawker clears the ball away, out towards the wing. Muse in the good position for Hawthorn, but it goes over in front of him as Terry Danaher appears on the scene, and we'll have a throw in on centre wing. Attendance 27,046. Hawthorn kicked 9 goals in the third quarter, and they're going on to a comfortable victory.
And the Bombers will play their last game for the season next week. Here's Williams, goes to ground. The umpire says you got one in the back, and take a free kick, son. Next week the Bombers play Collingwood at the MCG on a Sunday. They've got about a 2-month wait before they play Hawthorn again in Japan. Wonder how they'll come up for that. Lester Smith across to Russo, who's recovered from that knock. Buckenara to Dipia Domenico. Good chain of hand passing here. Schwab back to Dipper. Dipper fresh after half a game on the bench. Curran could take a free and will.
Well, they've completely dominated this game in the second half. Hawthorn, and there's the interference to Curran when he was trying to take that mark. And he will be having a shot for goal from about 40 metres out on only a slight angle.
Peter Curran lining up for his third goal. 20 possessions for the game. One of the multitude of stars on the forward line for the Hawks. He judged the breeze well there. Gets his third and the second for this last quarter.
There's 3 goals to Curran, also 3 to Dunstall. Good chain of hand passes there by the Hawthorn side. Out to Dipper again. And a lovely little chip pass to Curran. Interference there by Dean Wallace, and a free kick to Peter Curran.
56 points Hawthorn's lead. Nearly 24 minutes gone the last quarter. Greg Deere still going after it. Flips it on. Winton there for Essendon. Kick towards half forward. No mark taken. Ayres does it ever so coolly. Back to Langford, who's equally as cool. Left foot kick towards the wing. Mark taken by Baker. Baker's short kick finds Williams at half forward. He plays on. Hasn't got anyone really in support. Now he has. It's Hurd close to the centre. A chip pass towards centre half forward. Mark taken by Thompson. Thompson 65 metres out from goal. Goes for the long drop punt. Madden's a chance. It's flipped to the back. Lester Smith doing well. Can't quite gain it. Now he can. Handball over the top. Langford and Di Domenico. They slightly mess it up between the two of them. Brereton off the ground for the Hawks, and we'll have a throw in about 25 metres around from the Essendon goal. And the scoreboard, Hawthorn 17-10, 112. Lead Essendon 8-8, 56. Nearly time on in the last quarter.
Here's Platten, roving like a champion. Here's a champion. Look at him go. Waiting for players to get free. Cross to Ayres. I think they're just trying to avoid body contact at this stage. The finals, they don't want to miss out in the final or a premiership. Russo down the boundary line. Beautiful pass. And here's Jason Dunstall, a full forward, back at half-back flank. Goes long with his kick. Salmon, good mark. Well, Dermot Brereton, his value to Hawthorn is like pieces of 8. They don't want him to spill any coins at this late stage of a game that's well won. Now Essendon getting the chain going. They might even kick a couple of easy goals yet. Clark, good long kick. Madden there, but through for a behind. Into time on, last quarter. The Hawks 112 to the Bombers 57.
Hasn't been one of Simon's better days either. He's really struggled in the windy conditions.
Langford kicks it in and finds Lester Smith. 26 minutes gone in the last quarter. The Hawks just seeing it out. Lester Smith's kick covers 55 metres out towards half-back flank. Members side, a flip on. Hurd's a chance for Essendon. He handballs it, puts Clark under pressure. Clark in the centre for Essendon. Gets the handball over to Thompson. Thompson tackled by Jenke. His kick goes out wide and the mark's been taken by Sullivan. 45 metres out from goal against Carlton. He kicked a goal from here in his first taste of VFL football. Let's see if he can do it again. Not a bad looking kick, covers the ground, but doesn't have the accuracy. Through for another behind of the Bombers. 8-10, 58, and they trail by 9 goals. Hawthorn 17-10, 112.
And with the breeze in this last quarter, Essendon have kicked 1-6 and Hawthorn 3 straight goals into it. So they've outscored them again into the wind. Holding up. So that's only 1 goal for Essendon since half-time. Thompson caught, no whistle. The hand pass in from Walsh. Helped on by Clark. Hawker back to Foulds. Kick a goal, cap off a good game. He's done it. Gary Foulds has had 24 kicks.
Yes, and that's the reason, he was one of the reasons why Dipper spent a lot of the time on the bench in this second half, because of Gary Foulds' good first half. And that's only Essendon's second goal in the second half here at VFL Park.
Nearly 28 minutes gone in the last quarter. And there's a free kick. Too many Hawthorn players in the centre square. Salmon will take it for Essendon. Doesn't mess around. Kicks it long. Madden. Oh, even Simon can't grab it. Gets the handball back. Walsh falls over. Kennedy stays on his feet. Gee, they're terrific, Hawthorn. Off to Langford. Out wide to Schwab. Got players everywhere backing their teammates up. Schwab. Oh, down he goes, but he gets the flip over. There's a chance for Langford, who's come up from full-back. He wants to get in the goal-kicking stakes. Up towards centre-half forward, and there's a relay free kick being given. Langford downed after he kicked it. Curran takes the free kick at the 50-metre mark. He gets onto a long torpedo into the front of the square. It bounces, no one touches it. Here's that brilliant rover, Platten, outnumbered. In comes Tuck. Left foot shot for goal by Tuck. Looks all right, across the face. Through for a behind.
That's his first score today, the skipper. Nearly 29 minutes gone. The game's been well over since the Hawks burst in the third term. Foulds, what a game. Clark comes to Pritchard and draws him over the top to Baker. Also a mere shadow of his premiership form. Danaher goes to ground. Even the champs can't mark. But look at Ayres' pickup. And a great pass to Buckenara. Beautiful play.
Yes, it just looks a little too easy, doesn't it? Buckenara, 15-metre penalty against Winton. brings him up close to the 50-metre line. Buckenara's kicked 2 goals. Just running in a little bit of form too, Buckenara's short kick. Curran drops it. Now Platten. Hand pass. Deere. Greg Deere. Punts for goal. And just offline. Through for another behind of the Hawks. 17-12. Plays 9-10. And we're nearly 30 minutes into the last quarter.
Merritt kicks in. It's his best way of getting a kick, nearly. Mew out of that. Tapped away by Walsh. And Russo rushes it over the boundary line. Ring the siren, give us all a break. Surprised it's gone so long. There it is. A margin of 50 points in favour of the Hawks after they trailed by 2 goals at half-time. They won it 17-12 to 9-10. So in the second half, Essendon managed 2 goals, 6. In fact, they got all those in the last quarter because they were scoreless in the third term. And in the second half, Hawthorn added 12 goals, 8 to absolutely swamp them. And it was their third quarter in which they did it. Major goal kickers for the Hawks, Dunstall and Curran each got 3. Brereton and Buckenara each kicked 2, and also Platten got 2. And for Essendon, Mark Thompson kicked 3 goals, and he was their only player to kick any more than 1. Easy win to Hawthorn after they'd struggled in the first half. And for the first time since 1980, when Essendon are going to miss out on the finals, they're going to go out, well, certainly not in a blaze of glory, but with a real crash.